Tonight's Redskins preseason game between the Washington Redskins and the New Orleans Saints is brought to you in part by Mobile Super Unleaded Plus Gasoline, by your Washington area Ford dealers, home of the best-selling, best-built cars in America. Your Washington area Midas dealers. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody. And by Roy Rogers Family Restaurants.
And we are inside the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, where tonight the Washington Redskins close out their 1989 preseason schedule as they take on the Who Dat New Orleans Saints. Good evening, everybody, and welcome as our coverage of the Redskins continues. Steve Buckhantz with you from the Crescent City, and this will do it for Washington. They look for preseason victory number 4 tonight against only 1 loss, and in the process, they will be making a decision on some 13 players who will not be here come next Monday afternoon when they cut the league limit down to 47 players. The Redskins will return here exactly 1 month from today on October 4th, or rather October the 1st, to take on the Saints in a regular season contest, and they would like nothing more than to be back here 5 months from now when they would take on someone from the AFC in Super Bowl number 24, which will be held right here at the Superdome in New Orleans. Well, calling the shots up in the booth for us tonight, as he has done so far this season, veteran CBS announcer Dick Stockton. Dick?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And, of course, this is not just the regular finish of a preseason campaign, because if you look at the record since Joe Gibbs has been here, the Redskins have not always finished the preseason against a strong football team. They are tonight, the New Orleans Saints, so it's a real good test going into next week. And as Steve just mentioned, they're going to play them in the 4th week. Not that this game means anything to that, but it seems that when the Redskins have done well against a tough foe in the final preseason game, it is carried over into the first game of the regular year, where Joe Gibbs is 3-5 in first game since he's been in Washington. John Riggins, let's talk about things that we should watch today. And I want you to talk about the defense, which may have a little more question marks than the offense. What should we look for?
I said earlier in the telecast that I thought they were a little soft at defensive tackle right now, and they're waiting for somebody to start giving, besides Daryl Grant. They need somebody on the other side. I think also that Dexter Manley has to start rushing the passer a little bit better than he's doing. There's a couple of guys that have an outside shot of making a team, and they're linebackers. You've got Don Graham and Brian Bonner that are, vying for a spot tonight. Those are 2 guys that maybe keep an eye on. It's an outside chance. They've got to have a great game tonight, special teams, and if they happen to get in from the line of scrimmage.
And, of course, Dexter Manley, who had Marcus Cook behind him to maybe help him on run defense now, won't have that because Cook is going to start in that tackle spot. Now let's move over to the offense department, and looks like the offense looked like a machine against Miami. Any problems there?
Well, Dick, not really. I think the offense is pretty well set. We all know that Mark Rippon will be the quarterback. He'll get his first start against the Giants on Monday night. I think the big question to watch is running back. We got Joe Mickles, Reggie Branch, and Willard Reeves they're on the bubble, and they're going to have to show tonight that one of them can play. Only 2 of them are going to stay. 1 is going to go. I think Willard Reeves might be the one odd man out because the other 2 can play special teams very well. So it's going to be an interesting ball game for the young boys, the young kids. Those are the guys you have to look out for. So let's get ready for a good kickoff.
All right, Billy, thank you very much. Billy Kilmer and John Riggins with us, who've given us some entertaining material in these preseason broadcasts. There's Joe Mickles, who's looking for a spot in a very crowded running back area. Jim Mora, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, who has won in double figures his first 2 years here, made the playoffs 2 years ago, but not last year. They started out 7-1 and then fizzled the rest of the way. The Redskins have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And nothing ordinary about kickoffs as far as the Redskins are concerned. And there is Morton Anderson, who recently signed. There may be no better place kicker, particularly indoors, in the National Football League. Joe Howard and A.J. Johnson. Howard is on the left, and Johnson is on the right. Keep in mind, Wayne Sevier said the Redskins will return kickoffs even if they are deep in the end zone. Not good field position. They want to give A.J. Johnson a chance to bring some shots out of there. So look for them to return like here. And they didn't. So always pays to talk to the coach before the game.
Dick, he was on the warning track. I think that was a little bit too far back.
Hey, look, either you're going to learn to return kicks or... Okay, John. All right, now let's take a look at the lineups. Mark Rippon will be the quarterback. Gerald Riggs and Ernest Biner. Art Monk and Gary Clark. Biner the H-back. Jim Lachey, Russ Grimm, Jeff Bostic, Mark May, and Joe Jacoby up front, and Don Warren the tight end. The offensive line has been nothing but superb for the Redskins.
I think Gerald Riggs will get a little bit more of a workout tonight than he's gotten through the first two preseason games.
Throwing on first down, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Clark. Mark Rippon got a lot of his confidence back from a shaky early preseason with his performance against the Miami Dolphins. The Saints with a new look on defense. Frank Warren, Jim Wilkes, and James Jumpy Geathers up front. Wilkes moving from end to nose. Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills, Joe Colbrand, and Brian Ford. Pat Swilling's a holdout. And a whole new look at the secondary with a rookie, Robert Massey, in one corner. Mack, Atkins, and Waymer. Second down and 10. And here is Riggs. John Riggins, how much should Gerald Riggs carry tonight? I know he has 20 carries so far in 4 preseason games.
I would expect he's got to get around 10 carries tonight. I think he'll work pretty much the first half unless he feels comfortable enough with 3 or 4 or 5 carries. It's really just a personal thing with him, I think. If he wants to get a little bit more work tonight, he might have told the coaches so, and to get ready for the Giants, because, you know, he's looking at probably a 30 carry at night on Monday night.
Ricky Sanders has come in. 2 wide receivers, and Terry Orr, the H-back tight end, moves wide to the right. Sanders in motion. There'll be penalty markers there. Rippon and Clark was out of bounds, but there was a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
There's a flag.
And the penalty will be against the defense, the Saints. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Bob McElwee is the referee tonight.
You may see this turn into a
Left end defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
you may see before the season's over with, and I think the confidence that Joe Gibbs and Joe Bugle will have in our offensive line, this is a typical passing down for the Redskins. If Riggs can do the things they want him to, they'll be running at 3rd and 2. Sometimes, I think.
3.
So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Just a couple of minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Redskins, who are 3-1 in preseason.
I got to admit, that's a long 2.
Same formation as before. Ernest Biner is the running back. They have Orr wide to the right. Sanders in motion. Rippon with time hits Biner out of the backfield. First down, and Biner is off to the races and gets into Saints territory, just barely to the 49, where he's run out of bounds by Dave Waymer. A 22-yard gain on 3rd down for the Redskins.
At the Saints 49-yard line. 24 yards.
Biner puts a little move on the linebacker coming out of the backfield here. Actually puts a heck of a nice move on a linebacker. This is a play that's been in the playbooks for years. It's wide open across the middle. All the other receivers have ran their men deep. And Biner makes a nice catch and a nice run.
So again, you see the value of Ernest Biner from the Browns, now with the Redskins, and a first down on the Saints 49. Swing it out. Riggs to the 44-yard line, a pickup of about 5. Frank Warren, the defensive end, makes the stop. There's the Saints defense, and Don Bro along with Stan Humphries. Little homecoming for Humphries, you would think, since he's from Louisiana, but he said he's so far north he only has about 20 relatives and friends here for this game.
Well, not to mention Don Bro. He's a Cajun himself.
That's right. Anytime you have an EAUX at the end of your name, you know you got to be from here. 2nd down and 4. On the delay, Riggs. Fumble. Bostic recovers for the Redskins, but they'll have a 3rd and long as the recovery is made back in their own territory.
Jeff Bostic made a heck of a fumble recovery there. Unfortunately, it looks like he shook himself up a little bit. He actually picks the ball up when the ball goes down the ground. Riggs, it's a little cloudy in here. He gets clogged up there. I don't know whether I think the ball just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he hit Russ Grimm with it. But Bostic actually picks the ball, scoops the ball up, and rolls over with it. Not a bad move.
If you're wondering where Billy Kilmer is, and there is Riggs, it's not that he's so glad he's back here in the Bayou country that he's with his buddies. His microphone isn't working right now. We're trying to fix it up, and we'll be hearing a lot of Billy before we're through. 3rd down and 12 for the Redskins. Back on their 48. Good protection for Rippon. Penalty marker down, and it's intercepted. That's the rookie, Robert Massey, a second-round pick out of North Carolina Central. But a flag is down as Clark was the intended receiver. And a fine play by the rookie. And the penalty will go against the Saints, and they'll nullify that INT.
It appears that they're going to test the refs early, Dick, I think. I got that impression.
Am I back on? Can you hear me now? I guess I'm back on. Huh? Okay.
All right, nice
Automatic
test.
first down.
It's Robert Massey, and it's an automatic first down on the hold. Billy, take it.
Well, watch this. The boos are going to come out here. Rippon doesn't make a real fine throw here. He was a little late. If he'd have thrown it a little quicker, he'd have got that ball in. All year long, he's during the training camp, he's been a little late throwing these deeper patterns. I'd like to see him anticipate just a little bit more here. But, well, this boo wasn't too bad, was it? They're not stopping anything right now.
I'd say the fans got a heck of a game plan. They completely faked me out.
Bostic went out of the game for one play. Grimm moved to center. Bostic is back in, and McKenzie is still in at left guard.
Please reset the 30-second clock.
So Russ Grimm leads the game.
Seconds.
They're going to reset the clock to 15 seconds. So the Redskins offensive line has Lachey, McKenzie, Bostic, May, and Jacoby. It'll be first down for the Redskins with just about 3 minutes gone by in this first quarter. No score, and a crowd of about 55,000 here at the Louisiana Superdome, where the Saints defeated the Bengals on Monday night. An extremely short week for them.
Mark Rippon has to settle down here. He's making a mistake back there, I think, throwing the ball as late as he did, and he's no doubt giving.
Well, they looked at the tape. Gene Atkins, who is the strong safety, is being helped off the field. He was shaken up. His jersey's already off. First down, Washington. 2 running backs. Riggs gets to the 44-yard line. Gain of 4 that time, and Jim Wilkes making the stop. You know, I was talking to a general manager in the league about the Redskins offense. Guy was looking for a coach. He interviewed 3 defensive coordinators from 3 different operations. They all said the toughest team to defense in the NFL, believe it or not, are the Redskins. Even though they're not a spectacular offense, their execution, particularly up front, is something to behold. 2nd and 6 on the 44. On the delay, play fake, Rippon. Open, Warren. First down, Redskins. Donnie Warren at the 31. And the tackle by Antonio Gibson.
Well, I tell you, Dick, and you're right about how the Redskins execute so well, and that offensive line is the key, and it's good, and that's what Joe Gibbs wants to get back to. Establish that good, strong running game, and look, he can fake that run, and this pass is wide open to little Donnie Warren down the middle there, and Rippon did a good job coming out there, a good fake, the fake of the run.
14-yard gain, and Warren got shaken up a bit, so he's out of there. It'll be a first down at the 31 of the Saints. Rippon is being chased by Ricky Jackson. He gets rid of it and is caught by Sanders inside the 15-yard line. And the Redskins, moving the ball through the air, have another first down. Milton Mack, who's battling Toy Cook for a cornerback spot, makes the stop.
Well, it's interesting to see Joe Gibbs coming out and throwing the ball right off the bat. His first play was a play action. This was a little rollout by Rippon, and he hits Ricky Sanders over here, made a brilliant cut outside, and the timing was good. Rippon threw it right on time.
A gain of 20 yards. By the way, Mike Tice is in at tight end, replacing Don Warren. First down on the 11, and Riggs is held up. And a play by Sam Mills, the linebacker. The yay and boo signs are out here in New Orleans.
Well, the crowd's down a little bit now, Dick. I mean, there's only about 55,000 here. You get 75 in here, and they can rock and roll.
I wouldn't underestimate this 55,000.
No, I wouldn't either.
Well, this has been an interesting drive, helped by a penalty against the Saints. The Redskins have a 2nd down and 10 at the 11-yard line. They've chewed up nearly 5 minutes of the clock. Rippon with the fade to Clark. No good. He's out of the end zone.
That was really a nice play on Gary Clark's part.
Milton Mack defending on the play. The Redskins don't even look twice about those 3 receivers, Clark, Monk, and Sanders. And now the only question is who's the 4th. And I don't know how many clubs in the league can have that luxury and not even worry about that position.
No, that's right. They got 3 fine all-pro type receivers there. Joe Howard, I think, has got a fairly good lock on that because he's a great kick returner on the 4th receiver. So you're going to see those 4 playing most of the time.
Look for Stephen Hobbs as well. He's going to get a chance tonight. 3rd down and 10. Rippon. He was under good pressure. Biner was the intended receiver. He was covered by Colbrand, but good pressure. Ricky Jackson amongst the Saints coming in and making life tough for Rippon. So it'll be 4th down and a field goal opportunity coming up.
Well, this defense for the Saints is a really pressure-type defense, and you got to keep them off guard because if they know it's 3rd and 10 or long, they're coming after you. And it looked like there might have been a little mix-up with Ernest Biner's pattern. He wasn't sure where he was going, and Rippon did the smart thing. He got rid of it.
The new look, Ralph Musienko is holding for Chip Lohmiller. A 28-yard attempt, and the kick is good, and the Redskins lead. So Lohmiller missed the upright that time. I'm sure he's breathing easy about that.
Yeah, he's had a tendency to hit that upright a few times, but he's a good kicker. He's going to be great.
You are what you eat. What's true for man is true for machines. Starting the day right can make a difference. Get Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. Its detergent formula can unclog vital engine parts. For power and performance, drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. Get a free Redskins glass with every fill-up of 8 gallons or more of Mobil Super Unleaded Plus.
Clarence Wingate of Maryland won an '89 Escort in the Great Ford Giveaway. How did you do it, Clarence?
With a pen.
And Lydia Bloxton won an Escort. How does it feel?
Like a dream. Someone pinched me.
Now your Ford dealer is giving away 10 more new Escorts plus $1,000 in the Great Ford Giveaway Part 2. There's no purchase necessary, so see your Ford dealer before Labor Day, and you too could be the winner of an '89 Escort, like the Ryans of Middle River, Maryland.
He hasn't been the same since.
Nobody can tell you what a complete and thorough brake job will cost until they inspect your car. Nobody. But some places promise low prices without making it clear what it includes. Midas makes it clear. For $69, Midas replaces your brake shoes or pads, turns drums or rotors, inspects front wheel bearings and front grease seals. So if you need brakes, remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
3-0 the score. Wayne Sevier has the microphone on again. What's the plan on the kickoff here, Wayne?
We're going to hit it just down left to center as deep as we can. Should be coming right back in front of Minuski and Reggie Branch. Look for A.J. Johnson with his speed from the backside, hoping to squeeze it down from the backside.
All right, Lohmiller kicking off. And back deep is Paul Frazier, a rookie who's got a good shot on this club. On the goal line, Frazier returns. And a great hit just short of the 20-yard line. And it was Jimmy Johnson. That's going to be a big plus in his corner. Now let's check the New Orleans Saints offense. Bobby Hebert, the quarterback. Dalton Hilliard and Buford Jordan are the running backs. Craig Hayward is backing up Jordan in this game. Eric Martin and Lonzel Hill are the wide receivers. Up front, Kevin Haverding is a rookie who's playing in place of Jim Dombrowski. Brad Edelman, Joel Hilgenberg in place of Steve Court, Steve Trapillo, and Stan Brock up front. Greg Scales, the tight end, as both John Tice, Mike Tice's brother, and Moby Brenner are ailing. And a look at Bobby Hebert, the Cajun, who's got kind of a salty temperament out there. First down on the 20-yard line. Dalton Hilliard going wide and getting nothing. Raven Caldwell the first to reach him. And a gain maybe of a yard.
You know, it's interesting, Dick, to see the Saints have a similar type of offense that the Redskins have. And they got a good offensive line and the one-back offense, and they run a similar offense.
Notice Marcus Cook is starting at defensive tackle next to Grant, Manley and Mann outside. The linebackers, Caldwell, who made that stop, Okowitz and Wilbur Marshall. And in the secondary, it's Brian Davis and Darrell Green at the corners. Alvin Walton and Todd Bowles are the safeties. For Hebert, who came off his best year a year ago, 2nd down and 9 on the 21. He's got Perriman, number 80, good speed wide to the right. He fakes that way and throws the ball, and it's incomplete. Perriman was covered by Davis.
That's what the Redskins have been wanting to do all preseason. They put pressure on Hebert there, and he couldn't quite get the ball where he wanted it.
Well, you know, they're going to test Brian Davis. He's had a brilliant preseason. He's had 3 or 4 interceptions, and I think that they're still going to try to test him. They're going to go to his side. They want to stay away from Darrell Green right now. I think the Giants want to do that too when they play him a week from Monday.
3rd down and 9. A.J. Johnson is in as an extra back. So is Barry Wilburn. They have the dime defense. 6 defensive backs in for the Redskins. Out of the shotgun, Hebert's pass, little high, intended for Lonzell Hill. He was covered by Wilburn, and that'll bring up 4th down. So the Saints offense, which has never been a big play offense to begin with a year ago, goes for naught.
Well, Dick, this was a blitz by the Redskins, and Bobby Hebert got a little nervous back there. If he'd have waited just a hair longer, he would have had a man open.
Joe Howard is deep. As Billy Kilmer mentioned, he is the leading man for the 4th wide receiver corps. And it was Howard who broke it for a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against the Dolphins. George Winslow is punting. Brian Hansen has a back injury. That's why he's out. Good kick. Great kick by Winslow. Howard inside his 30. Fumbled. Picked up. Saints have it. He fumbled. Redskins may have gotten it back, and they do. It was A.J. Johnson who made the ultimate recovery to give the ball back to the Redskins.
Well, there's Joe Howard here makes a critical error in this fumble here. He's got to learn how to hold on to the ball. He's very lucky to get this ball back. He's holding it kind of loose. He just got it knocked out of his hands. He's going to have to take care of that.
It looked like a good ball to return. It wasn't that high kick.
James Haynes was the guy who had it and then lost it. So if you say that Howard has a lock, he may not have a lock. Who knows?
Now at Roy Rogers, buy a 12, 16, or 20-piece order of hot, delicious fried chicken and get a free 6-pack of Coca-Cola Classic.
Down here, a paint's worst enemy is the blazing sun. That's why the great American home of Henry Ford is being protected with new Sears Advanced Formula Weather Beater. It's the most durable paint we've ever offered. After all, for over 12 years, Weather Beater has maintained the home next door of Ford's close friend, Thomas Edison. Chances are it's on your neighbor's house, too. Sears Weather Beater. Great low prices, Weather Beater durability. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
Nissan dealers are still running the Nissan Marathon, and lucky for you, they haven't run out of gas. They're still passing along up to $1,500 in dealer cash incentives on Sentra, and up to $2,000 on every Nissan hard-body truck. There are plenty of great deals left on the Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S., and the incredible 240SX. But see your Nissan dealer today, because on September 5th, you'll be out of the running. The Nissan Marathon, the best event we've ever run.
They're reviewing that play to see whether indeed that was a fumble, because the ground might have caused that fumble by Haynes. And that's what they're looking at right now, Billy.
Well, I think definitely the ground caused the fumble. I think they got a rule that the Saints got the ball. We'll take another look here. Of course, we know Joe Howard fumbled the ball, but the Saint here, number 82, picked it up. And when he falls, watch this. 92. That's the ground caused that fumble. I think it got to go back to the Saints.
James Haynes.
That's the best angle right there. It's I think clearly it's the Saints' ball.
I have to agree with Bill.
Well, it's just remember. See, I'm not so sure. See, you got to remember that it has to be without question to reverse it. It has nothing to do whether we think that it was a fumble or not.
I understand that, but from that end zone camera, it was clearly the ball was hit the ground, and that cannot cause a fumble.
We'll go back to the fact that Joe Howard did fumble, and of course, that's why you never have a lock on any jobs, and Stephen Hobbs is going to get a chance to show what he could do.
We have a reversal. New Orleans football, 28-yard line.
So it'll be Saints ball, and they looked at the tape, and that's why you have to like replay, because that's a critical thing here.
Oh, it was. That's true. That was a good example of what instant replay will do. Well, they got the Yay stand signs out right now. They like this.
I guess so.
Dick, before the broadcast is over, I'm going to categorically show you why the replay is not any good.
Okay.
I'll work on it one point at a time.
All right, John, make it like a learning experience for us all.
Number one, eyewitness accounts are the most incriminating.
Okay. I know what you mean.
Eyewitness.
All right, Saints ball on the Redskin 28-yard line. First down. 3-0 in favor of Washington. Low Miller's field goal to scoring. Greg Hayward is now in the backfield along with Dalton Hilliard. And Hilliard is going to lose on the play. Raven Caldwell and Todd Bowles. And let's also mention Marcus Cook.
Good job by Marcus Cook. That's what they wanted to see.
Loss of 3 on the play.
Well, Marcus Cook has done a good job. This is a free safety blitz here. Richie's blitzing to stop the run here on first down. He just knew that they were going to run on first down. The Saints stereotype themselves a little bit. They want to try that running game, and they try to run the ball. So Richie countered with the safety dog.
Todd Bowles had a good game a week ago, plus an interception. Really solidifying his free safety spot. It's a comeback year for him. Second down and 13, Saints. They've got 4 wide receivers, and Perriman was the intended receiver and couldn't hold on. Bowles again. Let me go back and ask you guys, with Marcus Cook making that play, what does Cook's presence at tackle mean as far as the whole side, including Dexter Manley?
Well, they're not really comfortable with Marcus in their tackle, but what they have to do is play their 4 best linemen in there. And Marcus has really had a good preseason. They would like to have him on the outside with trading off with Manley because he's so good on the run. But the other 2 tackles, Maxey got hurt, and Rocker is still a rookie, so they want to play Marcus inside.
And you may see a 3-man line, including Wilbur Marshall, playing a linebacking rush position like Lawrence Taylor, something the Redskins are planning to do in this game. Right now they have Duckins and Stokes. They have good pass rushers in there. Hebert, who is yet to complete one, is now 0 for 4. As the pass is through, Lonzel Hill was the intended receiver, and good pressure on Hebert. Duckins, who's a free agent from Arizona State, put a lot of good heat on Mr. Hebert. Fourth down, they'll try for 3. And Morton Anderson, who indoors is impeccable.
He is one of the best kickers indoors. He has a little problem on natural turf is where he's had some problems. But he is one of the best.
49-yard attempt with the punter, George Winslow, holding. Better get some mustard. Short, no good. So the snap was high, and Winslow had to get down in a hurry, and that might have affected the timing. In any event, the field goal is no good. 7:24 to go in the first quarter. The Redskins still lead.
You're not just a cop anymore. You're a private investigator. Now you got to play by a whole new set of rules. And in this game, your first mistake can be your last. You gotta be smart, quick, sophisticated, and remember to always use your head.
Booker premieres Sunday, September 24th on Fox.
The Mitsubishi Rewards of Summer. The personal rewards. And the financial rewards. You could save up to $2,500 through factory-to-dealer incentives on Mitsubishi Mirage, Mitsubishi Montero 2-door. Even up to $1,500 on the Mitsubishi Galant, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. So don't go unrewarded. The Rewards of Summer, only at your Washington area Mitsubishi Motors dealer.
It takes more than a year and a half of unerring craftsmanship to bring one Steinway grand piano to market. It also takes a financial commitment few banks are willing to make, which is why Steinway banks with Perpetual. For although Steinway's production schedule requires some creative financial arrangements, we've been delighted to lend them millions. Our reasoning is simple. If Steinway isn't sound, what is Perpetual sensible banking?
And welcome back to the Louisiana Superdome. It's Washington Redskins preseason football. The Redskins against the New Orleans Saints in the final tune-up for both clubs. And the Redskins lead the Saints by a score of 3-0 with 7:24 to go in the first quarter. This is Dick Stockton along with Bill Kilmer and John Riggins. And there is Gerald Riggs, who is the lone back as it's 1st and 10 Redskins on their 31-yard line. Riggins off tackle. Riggs off tackle.
Riggins is up here.
I'm still out of breath, though.
I know that. Still out of breath and still crazy after all these years. Pickup of about 9 yards and the stop by Antonio Gibson.
Good run in there. He found a crack in between Jacoby and May and picked up 8 yards. This is a play they call 40 gut, just the old off-tackle play, and basically that's the play that the counter tray is designed after. Or I should say the counter tray is a complement play to that one right there.
2nd down and 2. The ball at the 40 of the Redskins. Again, Riggs loses this time. James Geathers and Dave Waymer, and it was Waymer who stormed in, Antonio Gibson as well. One of the great things about the Saints' rise to a 12-3 team 2 years ago and 10-6 last year has been their aggressive defense, one of Jim Moore's trademarks when he was at the USFL.
Well, right then is where they safety dog to stop the run. You dog gaps when you do that on a running situation to stop the run, and they were very successful there.
3rd down and 2. Rippon has Clark, and Clark makes a fine catch and then carries some backs a couple of more yards to the 41-yard line of New Orleans. Milton Mack makes the stop, and it was not an easy catch for Gary Clark.
No, you see Mark Rippon run up, and he knew that the defense here. He sees the free safety, and he waits just right there and throws right into that seam. But Rippon knew he's going to get his head busted here and didn't want Clark to get hurt. He ran down there to see.
That's one thing that makes all the 3 starting receivers for the Redskins so great, I think, that all 3 of them will go over the middle and catch the ball.
Yes, that's right. They're physical.
21-yard gain. Rippon rolling out on 1st down on the Saint 41. Drills it. It's caught. And that might have been Viner, and Viner has it at the 30-yard line, and it is another 1st down for the Redskins. They moved the sticks by about a yard.
Rippon looks real sharp here. This was a little rollout pass. It's designed to beat a zone defense. The outside receiver broke outside, and Viner hooked up in the middle of that zone. It was a well-conceived pass.
And a fine pass drilled in there. 1st down, Redskins now on the 30. They have moved the ball in this first quarter, mostly through the air, with 4:44 to go, leading 3-0. Riggs up the middle. Colbrand is the first to hit him, a gain of about 2. Frank Warren also in on the play. Joe Bugle, Joe Gibbs, Stan Humphries, Don Bro on the sideline, Charlie Taylor.
That's why those ends are so physical, because Charlie Taylor, boy, and he wants those physical ends just like he was. He'd come across the middle.
It'll be 2nd down and 8. The Redskins offensive line changed 7 different times a year ago, but it's been the same group for all 5 preseason games this year. 2nd down and 8. Sanders goes in motion. Rippon. Intercepted. Antonio Gibson. It was tipped.
This is not the Redskins that I hope are going to play next Monday night. That we've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter, and they've already turned the ball over 3 times.
Well, Mark really throws a bad ball here. It must have slipped out of his hand or something. Might have got tipped there. Mark's trying to get an interference call there. The defender was right over the receiver's tail, but he's not going to get it. It was just a badly thrown ball. It might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Milton Mack and Clark went up for it. It was tipped probably by Mack, and Gibson, who was fighting for the strong safety job with Gene Atkins. He had been the starter. Atkins has moved ahead of him. And on the turnover, it is still 3-0, and the Saints have a first down on their 30-yard line. So another good drive goes for naught for the Redskins. In motion is Hilliard. And powering up the middle is Craig Ironhead Haywood, who is really big, although he's lost some weight and is coming back from an injury-prone second half of last year. Raven Caldwell on the stop.
Yeah, you know, with Ironhead in here, this really reminds you of the Redskin offense. They're that big power back, and they're going to try to, you know, work on the Redskins defense physically, especially up in Marcus Cook's area.
Ruben Mays has been out, you know. He's not done anything at camp. They're not going to count on him when the season starts as his aggravated Achilles tendon. 2nd and 5. Hayward goes in motion. Hilliard. And they've got the first down. Raven Caldwell missed the tackle after making a couple, and Alvin Walton finally makes the stop. And it'll be a Saints first down at their own 41-yard line.
Well, the Redskins strung the play out pretty good, I thought. You just got to give credit to the running back. He makes a nice play out of it. Charles Mann comes off his block and forced him outside. Caldwell's got position. He overruns him a little bit. And the kid cuts it back inside for first down.
Hilliard's got good speed. He's out of LSU and a good receiver out of the backfield. There you see Olkowitz finally reached him. So it'll be a first down at the 41. Word on Don Warren, you saw him shaken up a little while, and we have an update on his situation. First down on the 41, Hayward in motion. Again, it's Hilliard. And the penalty marker is down as Hilliard, with a fancy leap over Alvin Walton, picks up a yard for all his troubles. And a marker is down.
Got a holding call on the Saints.
By the way, Don Warren went to the locker room. He's back, took his jersey off.
Holding. 65. Offense. First down.
Steve Trapillo, the right guard, was holding. He had a fine year. He's out of Boston College. And that'll set the Saints back. So anyway, Don Warren has his jersey back on, and we hope to see him back in the action.
Yeah, you see Trapillo hold Charles Mann here. He just grabs a hold of him and tries to tackle him. This is unusual. Alvin Walton ducking his head. He's a sure tackler, and Hilliard jumps right over.
As a result of the penalty, first down and 20. By the way, the Saints did not have their offensive line intact at all last year. 5 minutes into their first game of the season, they lost Trapillo, and it went downhill from there. Hilliard skirts his way up the middle of the 35. Gain of 4. Manley and Grant combined to make the stop. But right now, the Saints offense operating without Ruben Mays, who has been a 1,000-yard rusher. Hobie Brenner and John Tice, their 2 tight ends. And Jim Dombrowski, their left tackle.
Marcus Cook made a nice play. He got penetration on that play there. That's what you need to stop the run.
Second down, 16 on the 35 of the Saints. 1:13 to go first quarter. On the delay, here's Hayward, and Wilbur Marshall wrestles him down, and a loss back to the 34-yard line. A loss of 1 on the play, and a good play by Wilbur.
That was a bulldog type boy. He took him down, and you know Ironhead Ironhead is a very, very strong man, and look at Marshall. He just takes him and throws him right down like a bulldogger would.
Grabbed him by his halo.
He did. This is a good play by Wilbur. He's been playing like this all preseason. He's really got himself in shape and learned the defense, and he's making plays all over the place. Good play, Wilbur.
Fred Stokes and Mark Duckins, 2 pass rushers, are in there now. They feel that they'll get some good rushing from those 2 men inside. 3rd and 17 at the 34. And they got a great rush, and Hebert had to throw it away in a hurry. Buford Jordan out of the backfield. And A.J. Johnson with a cornerback blitz in his own right. Plus good pressure from the line. And it'll be 4th down, and Winslow will come in and kick it away.
Well, I think Richie Pettibone's got his defense stoked up tonight. I think he wanted to come out here and put some pressure on the quarterback. And of course, he's blitzing a few people right now, which doesn't hurt anything. But they're really doing a good job.
Here is George Winslow out of Villanova University. Kicked for the Browns for a few games 2 years ago. Joe Howard with a chance to redeem himself back at the 25. He fumbled the first time.
Looks like a good return ball. It's a low kick.
Howard stopped at the 38-39-yard line with 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Joe Colbrand making the stop.
There's one thing about it. Once you fumble a ball in a game, it kind of takes away, at least it used to with myself, it takes away from what you really want to do, because now you have to concentrate on hanging on to the football, and you're not running the same way you were before.
How do coaches look at a guy who's right now a favorite for the number 4 wide receiver spot? He's been a good returner, touchdown a week ago. Now he fumbles. You've been around coaches.
Well, it's a little negative on his part, but I think he's done so many good things. He's going to have to fumble 2 or 3 more times for him to really lose his job.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Bill on that.
Art Monk in the game, wide receiver. Riggs trying to go outside and shows his power as he brings the ball up close to midfield. That was a clever little bit of running by Gerald Riggs, who looked like he was stopped after about 3 and picked up nearly the first down. But the time has run out. That's the end of the first quarter with the Redskins leading the Saints.
Top of the 9th, bases loaded, and Spardella wants a conference on the mound.
Hey, you guys up for Roy's after the game?
You can bet some big decisions being made down there, Bill.
I could handle some fried chicken. I'm doing roast beef. I'm doing both.
The double steel meal now at Roy Rogers. A regular roast beef sandwich with medium fries, or 2-piece chicken meal with medium fries for just $2.49.
Spardella showing confidence in his ace right-hander.
But you want it? Good. You're buying it.
Come into Roy's for a double steel meal, just $2.49.
Who gives you guaranteed morning delivery in the U.S. for just $8.75?
We deliver, we deliver.
Delivery to over 95 countries worldwide for just $10.75.
We deliver, we deliver.
With 46,000 drop-off points coast to coast.
We deliver, we deliver.
Only express mail service from your post office. Because when it comes to sending it overnight or overseas,
we deliver for you.
Hey, Ripken, you're up. He's up! Move back! That kid's up! Move your cars! He's up! Okay, Ripken, this is where your lucky streak ends.
Cal Ripken drank his milk, and he still does. Whole, low-fat or skim, milk is fitness you can drink.
Tonight's Redskins preseason game is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's restaurants, by your Washington area Ford dealers, home of the best-selling, best-built cars in America, and by your Washington area Midas dealers. Nobody beats Midas, nobody.
Changes in the offensive line, and the one thing you don't want to see happen in any event in a game, whether you win or lose, you don't want injuries. Don Warren has a sprained neck. We told you he was shaken up, questionable return, but Mark May is having his ribs x-rayed. There is Warren, who is up. He went to the dressing room, had his shirt off. We don't know whether he'll be back, but Mark May is out of there, and Ed Simmons is in, and we'll give you the exact alignment of the Redskin offensive line. Raleigh McKenzie is in at right guard, replacing May, and Ed Simmons is playing right tackle. Joe Mickles is come in the game as a running back. He's trying to fight for a spot number 30. There is Simmons and McKenzie up front.
Terry Orr's in at tight end, too, 87. Or H-back, I guess.
2nd down and 1 at the 48-yard line. Redskins in their own territory, leading on Chip Lohmiller's 28-yard field goal early in the first quarter. And on a great fake by Rippon, wide open is Clark. And Clark still looking for more running room. Penalty marker is down, and Clark is down as well at about the 20-yard line by Walter Johnson.
Very well executed play. It looks like that they really caught the New Orleans defensive backs flat-footed. Clark, Gary came across the middle. He was wide open the whole way.
32-yard pickup to Gary Clark, and a tremendous fake on a handoff to Mickles up the middle.
Yeah, this is a play action on 1st down, and they catch him in a zone, and the zone, heart of the zone defense right down the middle is very vulnerable there, and that was a great play. Good throw by Rippon.
1st down on the 21-yard line. Mickles hit and a loss on the play. James Gethers making the stop on Mickles. Rippon right now has completed 7 of 11 passes for 125 yards plus 1 interception. That's his work thus far. In the first series, when the Redskins scored on the field goal by Lohmiller, he hit Biner, Warren, and Sanders for a combined 56 yards. Then Clark caught a 21-yarder and then the 32-yard pass. So Mark Rippon has been on the mark except for a couple of bad tosses.
Bad tosses. He got 1 intercepted. And you know, the thing about Mark, he's got to play a lot. He hasn't really played a lot of games, and he needs playing.
There was no flag, so it was just a yellow marker on the field, so cancel that. Now let's see.
See, I don't understand. Now, this is one thing I don't like about instant replay, if that's what they're doing here. It slows it. They tried to speed the game up, and it slows it down.
Wait till the crowd starts to prevent the Redskins from running a play at the goal line.
Well,
you want to see a delay.
That's probably right.
2nd down and 10 at the 21 after that minor delay. Wide receivers at the top, and now they move Monk. Rippon is chased. Completes to Mickles.
In the grass.
And in the grass, Haynes had him, and they called in the grass. And a lot of that, of course, is to protect the quarterback. And a loss on the play back to the 29-yard line. Wayne Martin had him in the grass. He's the #1 draft pick out of Arkansas, and they think they'll give them really good pass rushing skill.
I'll tell you, Dick, this is a bad rule. I said it when I first put it in. It's in the grass rule. This isn't football. I think, you know, this is a very controversial thing, and it always will be. And it hadn't saved one quarterback's lives yet. They've had more injured quarterbacks than ever, and they still got this rule.
And a lot depends on who the quarterback is. You get a strong guy back there.
You get a runner, they're not going to call.
So it's 3rd down and 16 after the loss, back on the 27. Rippon rolling out, fires, incomplete. Terry Orr, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Lohmiller will come in. And Mosenko as well to hold. Ralph Mosenko is going to be holding for Chip Lohmiller, who made good on a 28-yard field goal when the Redskins held the ball for over 5 minutes for the only score in this game. This will be a 45-yard attempt. 2.5 minutes or so into the 2nd quarter. 2:10 exactly. High snap. Lohmiller's kick is long enough, and the kick is good. Chip Lohmiller is 2 for 2.
That was a great hold right there. We'll get back to it.
You are what you eat. What's true for man is true for machines. The right diet can make a difference. Get Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. Its detergent formula can unclog vital engine parts. For power and performance, drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. Get a free Redskins glass with every fill-up of 8 gallons or more of Mobil Super Unleaded Plus.
Everywhere you look these days, there's another place promising outrageous deals on brake jobs. He looked into them, but he came to Midas. And he's not alone. A million others trust Midas, too. For good reason. Because nobody beats Midas. Our brake shoes and pads are guaranteed for as long as you own your car. They're installed by trained brake technicians, and that's just part of our $69 brake special. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Nissan dealers across the country are ready to run a marathon. The Nissan Marathon, ready to pass along up to $1,500 in dealer cash incentives on Sentra. And up to $2,000 on every Nissan hard-body truck. They're going all out on Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S., and giving up to $2,000 cash back on Stanza. But hurry, because as fast as we're running, the great deals could pass you by. The Nissan Marathon, the best event we've ever run.
6-0 the Redskins. With that much time remaining in the second quarter, takes teamwork. And Mosienko was part of a good three-man effort to get that kick through for a 6-0 Redskin lead.
Yeah, Dave Harbour here makes a high snap. Look at Mosienko, fast hands, and Lohmiller doesn't even have to hesitate. He just comes right through the ball. Great hold by Mosienko.
Good ball control again, John.
Right. The Redskins are doing exactly what they want to do.
Over 6 minutes that time. Paul Frazier on the 5-yard line. Frazier, a free agent rookie from Northwest Louisiana. They got a bunch of those from Northwest Louisiana. Stopped by Orr on special teams. So 12:35 remaining. Second quarter, 6-0 the score, and the Saints have it at the 25-yard line.
Well,
Bobby Hebert.
Well, the Saints have, the Redskins have controlled the ball very good, John. But they get down inside the 25, they stop. I know Joe Gibbs is not happy with getting field goals because you're not going to beat the Giants with field goals. You're going to have to score touchdowns, and they're going to have to sharpen up their offense inside the 20, 25.
Buford Jordan is in the game now. Hayward was back. Jordan actually started. Craig Hayward came in, so it's Jordan and Hilliard in the backfield for New Orleans. Saints are 1-2 in preseason. First win came Monday against Cincinnati. Hebert to throw on first down. And does he hold on? He does. Good catch by Buford Jordan. It doesn't get much out of it, actually. Maybe a half a yard. Wilbur Marshall was shadowing him.
Yeah, Wilbur made them.
Dexter Manley.
Yeah, well, Wilbur recovered the man real good, but Dexter, this rush has been going on all night. They've been getting good pressure on Bobby, and he's having a tough time in that pocket. Looks like they're going to get him. He gets it away, but, pretty soon they're going to get him.
Barely.
This is Dexter's best move, really, is he loves to run wide, and he comes in the back door quite a bit. He says he doesn't really get all geared up for preseason, but I think he's trying to put a little more pressure on himself tonight.
It's the dress rehearsal. 2nd and 9 at the 26 for the Saints. Their own 26. Hilliard bounces off a few people like it's a pinball machine. Gets up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 4. Neil Olkowitz making the stop. How about Neil Olkowitz? A couple of weeks ago, it looked like his job was severely in doubt with Greg Minuski putting the pressure on. But for another year, Olkowitz has warded them all off.
He's a competitor. He's the kind of guy you want on your team. You'd like to have 45, 47 of Neil Olkowitz's on your team. Darryl Grant made a great play there too. He stacked that line right up.
Neil's done that for 11 years now, Dick. Warded him off at his position.
He has.
He's the only guy I know that's come to camp since he was a rookie, wondering if he was going to be on the squad when the first season game was kicked off.
3rd down 5, and the shotgun goes Hebert. Just under 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Hebert has time. He has completed only one pass thus far in the game. That was Buford Jordan for a 1-yard gain. Lonsdale Hill was the intended man there. And the crowd a little anxious. Turns over those yay cards.
Well, I've heard they're doing it to Hebert because he's 1 for 10 or whatever. And Bobby last year had a bad last half. They needed to win just 1 of the last 5 games and didn't do it. And these fans aren't going to put up with it too long. I've been down here. I know.
You know from experience.
From experience.
Joe Howard is back, and Winslow will kick it again. Not only is Brian Hansen out with a back injury, but he's giving Hansen a run for his money. Howard on the 30. upended, and if he had gotten past the one man, he might have broken it. And the man who was in his way was Bobby Morse. So the Redskins have the ball and the lead, 6-0. We'll be back.
Not everybody pops up like toast in the morning, but right now you can get an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's for just 99 cents. Of course, you could wait till later and get a McChicken sandwich for 99 cents too. Not everybody feels like going out all the time, but right now you can get a McDonald's McChicken sandwich for just 99 cents. Of course, you could wait till breakfast and get an Egg McMuffin for 99 cents too.
Mrs. Wilda Parrish won an '89 Escort in the Great Ford Giveaway. What was your secret?
I filled out an entry form.
And Rob Hanna of Virginia won an Escort. So how did you feel?
Awesome!
Now your Ford dealer is giving away 10 more new Escorts, plus $1,000 in the Great Ford Giveaway Part 2. There's no purchase necessary. So see your Ford dealer before Labor Day, and you too could win an '89 Escort, like the Ryans of Maryland.
We never won anything before.
What about that second honeymoon to the Poconos?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can tell you what a complete and thorough brake job will cost until they inspect your car. Nobody. But some places promise low prices without making it clear what it includes. Midas makes it clear. For $69, Midas replaces your brake shoes or pads, turns drums or rotors, inspects front wheel bearings and front grease seals. So if you need brakes, remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Here's our story here at the Superdome, where the Redskins lead the Saints 6-0. And as we've mentioned, these teams will play in the 4th week of the season here at the Superdome after the Redskins play the Giants, the Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. So they'll play 3 division opponents and then tough New Orleans in the 4th game here at the Superdome. Mark Rippon, who has looked solid thus far for the 2nd straight game. First down on the 45 of the Redskins. Jamie Morris in at running back. Rippon's pass and a fine catch that time by Howard. Joe Howard had to extend himself, picked up close to the first down.
That helped. That was a nice catch by Howard. Mark wasn't on balance here, and he kind of threw the ball a little wide, but Joe got his hands up and caught the ball. Very good hands.
Archbishop Carroll High School and Notre Dame, and lately with the Buffalo Bills, and this is a pretty catch.
He's got the gloves on too, and it's nice in here.
It's cold.
Air conditioning.
It's colder in here than it is outside. 2nd down and 1. Rippon throwing on 2nd and 1, wide open is Terry Orr, and he was there, couldn't hold on, and he was hit by a couple of black-shirted Saints. And it'll be 3rd down, and what might have been, that was a fine pass by Mark Rippon.
Well, he had his outside receiver he was going to on a little hitch out there, but the receiver was covered, and he came off of him, went to his secondary receiver. Very good here, Mark. He looks outside, his man's covered. Now he comes back to his second receiver and makes a fine throw. He had enough time to see him. Terry should have made this catch. And Mark gets a little upset, but, sometimes you throw it bad, Mark.
Well, he needs all the catches he can get.
Reggie Branch and Willard Reeves are in the backfield, and time is called as Rippon goes to the sideline. So Reeves and Branch, 2 guys who are trying to make a club in there now.
They have come to Earth to live among us, but some don't want them here. The year is 1995, and America's melting pot is about to explode. Alien Nation, the series, coming in September.
The all-new 1990 Subaru Legacy has more impressive standard features than the Camry or Accord. Now, to make room for the Legacy, Subaru is clearing out its 89s.
With $1,000 back on 89 sedans, $1,000 back on 89 3-doors, $1,000 back on wagons, $3,000 back on XT, $1,000 back on Justy.
With all that cash back standard, you can raise your standard of living.
Raise your standard of living. See your Subaru dealer.
Top of the 9th, bases loaded, and Spardella wants a conference on the mound.
Hey, you guys up for Roy's after the game?
You can bet some big decisions being made down there, Bill.
I could handle some fried chicken.
I'm doing roast beef. I'm doing both.
The double steel meal now at Roy Rogers. A regular roast beef sandwich with medium fries or two-piece chicken meal with medium fries for just $2.49.
Spardell is showing confidence in his ace right-hander.
That's your wallet? Good. You're buying.
Come into Roy's for a double steel meal, just $2.49.
When do you drink America's favorite German beer?
Every once in a while. Or twice in a while. Or 3 times.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
6-0 the score. Mark Rippon uses the first Redskin timeout of the first half. What happened is that Russ Grimm came in to report as a third tight end and came in late and didn't have a chance to quite to do it, and so Rippon called the timeout. So Grimm is in there as a blocking tight end. Tice, you see, is the other tight end as Warren is out of the game. Sprained neck. Don't know whether he'll be back. Mark May having his ribs x-rayed. Those are the 2 injury stories. 3rd and 1 on the 46. Willard Reeves with Branch blocking, powers his way for a first down. A fine run by Reeves. Gets to the 39 of the Saints where Toy Cook makes the stop. What is Reeves' status as a 30-year-old former Canadian player and who scored 5 touchdowns in preseason, John?
Well, I think right now his age is working against him. He's 30 years old, and Joe Mickles is just out of college. And I think the Redskins are looking for somebody, you know, that's going to be around for the future. He makes a good run here. It's a great block by Terry Orr. He kicked out the force man, and Reggie Branch went around inside and sealed. Although if you're Reggie Branch, you got to figure, I wonder if I slip. Maybe they'll get him in the backfield.
First down on the 39. Rippon. It's caught by Jamie Morris. And a gain of 4 yards. Stop is made by Sam Mills. The new center is Mark Schlereth, number 69. He is the new center on this team and will pick up the other substitutions as well. One thing about the Redskins, even though the lead is 6-0 on 2 field goals, and they haven't really been able to penetrate the end zone, they've had 2 solid drives to eat up some 11 minutes.
That's right. Just like I said before, they're going to have to sharpen up their inside the 20 offense, and it's a whole different ball game down inside there. But Joe Gibbs will do it. They'll get it sharpened up. Jim
Lachey is the only regular in on the offensive line. The rest are all the second team. Jamie Morris hit behind the line and a loss on the play. Walter Johnson.
The Saints, it appears, have been really working on the Redskins counter trey play. It really hasn't been very productive tonight. And usually that's one of their main plays. These guys get penetration, and they're really not fooled by the play at all. Earlier in the first quarter, Gerald Riggs was picking up most of his yardage off of the gut play. And the gut play was the original, and the counter tray is what came off of it. So the Redskins are right now sensing that maybe the tray will work, but it's not.
Second team line again is in there, with the exception of Lachey. 3rd down and 6, where the Redskins have outpassed the Saints 132-1. Biner and Waymer catches up with him, but Ernest Biner has a first down on another fine reception at the 15-yard line, a gain of 24. Biner caught one earlier to start the game for a gain of 22.
Watch Biner. This is an option play. He can option go either inside or out. He makes a nice move to go outside. Good pass by Rippon. This is why they got Ernest Biner. Look at those hands, and he can run when he gets it. Boy, I'll say it again. That was one good trade they made for Ernest Biner.
I'm trying to figure out who could tell the future better, the Redskins or Kelvin Bryant. The Redskins figured Kelvin Bryant was going to wreck his car, or Kelvin Bryant figured they were going to get Ernest Biner.
What an astute analysis there, John. It makes a lot of sense.
Madam Zelda had to call that one.
On the 14-yard line, Jamie Morris gets inside the 10. Mark Rippon in the passing department is 10 for 16 for 162 yards. And here's Morris, who is the beneficiary of some crisp blocking early against the Miami Dolphins a week ago at RFK Stadium.
He's the Redskins' leading rusher, and all he does is make yards, John. He just seems to squirm through there, and he's a tough, strong little runner, and he's impressive.
My opinion is really a ball carrier the size of Jamie Morris actually has an advantage when you've got 300-pound linemen up in front of you. The defense can't see it.
That's right.
See if the Redskins can get a touchdown on this drive. 2nd and 5 at the 9. Penalty marker down as Art Monk might have been pushed.
I think it was Terry Orr, Dick, that got shoved in the back.
Antonio Gibson was right there.
Defensive pass interference, number 27.
It's Gibson, first down. Antonio Gibson on the pass interference call.
Yeah, Gibson hit him in the back. He put both hands on him. That's a no-no. We'll see it right here. See, Orr comes inside. Look at Gibson. He's all over him. The ball's not even there yet. That was a good call.
Another look.
Here's another look. The inside move, but Gibson was all over Orr.
First down, and the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line, and now the goal line defense coming in for the Saints. Frank Warren has come in.
Bill, I think you made an astute observation. The Redskins have actually controlled the ball, but they've only got 6 points. They need to get a touchdown here because you don't get points for riding time like you do in Olympic wrestling.
Willard Reeves has Reggie Branch blocking in front with Orr, and it's Reeves. Reeves gets close and in for the touchdown. He broke the plane, and it's a touchdown for Willard Reeves, his 6th TD of preseason, and the Redskins finally get 6.
Well, you know, Dick, here's where the Boo Birds started last week, and see, it was on a penalty, a pass interference penalty, and I think Mark Rippon did a smart thing here. And instead of backing off and everything and losing that momentum on your offense, he went right ahead with the play, and here they get a touchdown. I know the line was ready to go, and they can hear the ball. I believe that Boomer Esiason last week was trying to milk it and the whole thing.
Good block up front by Rollie McKenzie to help make it happen. And now Lohmiller with Mosienko holding will try to make it 13-0 Skins.
Well, you can actually intimidate the crowd if you go ahead and run the play and are successful. It'll quiet them right down.
Kick is good, and it's 13-0. So Willard Reeves with a 2-yard run, along with Lohmiller's 2 field goals. 6:46 remaining in the first half.
At Shell, we've been taking good care of cars for a good long time. And while cars have changed, our philosophy has stayed the same. That's why today, every Shell Auto Care dealer guarantees his work with a nationwide warranty. And because Shell Auto Care is one of the largest networks of car repair centers, you'll never have to worry about finding someone who will take good care of your car for a good long time. So don't take chances. Take it to Shell Auto Care.
There's something very special inside this package. Something fresh and cool. Something elegant and creamy and almost heavenly. It's Giant Gourmet Ice Cream, and there's only one place on earth you'll find it.
Nissan dealers are still running the Nissan Marathon, and lucky for you, they haven't run out of gas. They're still passing along up to $1,500 in dealer cash incentives on Sentra, and up to $2,000 on every Nissan hard-body truck. There are plenty of great deals left on the Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S., and the incredible 240SX. But see your Nissan dealer today, because on September 5th, you'll be out of the running. The Nissan Marathon, the best event we've ever run.
Redskins used nearly 4 minutes that time. They have had 3 drives tonight, one 5 minutes plus, 6 minutes plus, and nearly 4 minutes. And they finally get the touchdown this way.
I'm not sure. There's a little mix-up in the backfield. Ripien overruns his ball carrier a little bit, and it's questionable actually whether he actually got the ball across. But of course, the ref was right there on the spot.
You see it better here.
He's neat.
Here's the kickoff.
It's barely over.
Paul Frazier gets to the 22-yard line. We'll see which Redskins were in on the play. Terry Orr, second time that Orr was been in there. Interesting that the time of possession of this game has the Redskins having the ball for nearly 15 minutes, the Saints for a little more than 8 minutes, and yet it's been an aerial game for the Redskins for the most part. When was the last time you saw that kind of diversity for a throwing game?
Well, they possession-type passes, you know, good, solid, you know, passes on first down to beat the zone, and then they mix in the run. The run's been very successful.
They got a lot of 20s and 30s on pass yardage. I mean, we're not looking at dumping off so much.
Well, down the middle, what I'm saying, they're not going real deep. They're getting a lot of run out of their wide receiver.
4-man line, but Stokes and Duckins in as pass rushers inside as Hebert on first down. Tipped away nicely by Brian Davis. The pass was intended that time for Floyd Turner. Now, Davis has had a brilliant preseason and has simply won the job and maybe the best defensive player the Redskins have had in preseason.
If he can stay healthy, that's his problem. He's not played a lot because he's had a lot of injuries, but he is he's a good one-on-one cover guy. He's had a good preseason, and I just hope he continues.
He had that play in his hip pocket, Bill. He was stride for stride with the receiver. There was really no way they could complete that ball.
2nd and 10 on the 24-yard line. Saints have only 1 yard passing thus far. Hebert just helped that stat. The pass is complete.
Getting back to Brian Davis, he reminds me of a fast Pat Fisher. Pat'll love that one.
Fisher's pretty fast. He ran me down a couple times.
Greg Scales, the tight end. Saints down to Greg Scales and Mitch Andrews with Tice and Brenner out of there. 3rd down and 2 for New Orleans as we wind down to 6 minutes to go in the first half. Redskins lead 13-0. Pair of Low Miller field goals, and Reeves bowling in from 2 yards out with his 6th preseason touchdown. And we don't know whether he's going to make the club. I think that Manley and company were drawn off. The pass is incomplete, and that should go against the Saints. Dexter Manley, who has shown a pretty good rush thus far in the first half. No. 2 of the Redskins came in. I stand corrected. It's against Washington.
Yeah, Hebert went on a long count that time.
72 defense, 5 yards, first down.
Now, you can do that every now and then to Dexter. You know, he wants to get in there and rush that passer, and if you keep that count uneven on him and keep him at home, you got to do that. And Bobby did it. That was a good time to do it.
I think the Redskin defense is going to get better and better as the season goes along. They've really got a lot of great athletes out there on the field, and as these guys get to playing together a little bit more, and with Pettibone and the rest of the coaches behind them, I think that they could have one of their great defenses.
That was only their 2nd first down for the Saints. They're on their own 37-yard line, trailing 13-0. Again, you can see the stutter count. Redskins very nearly went wide open, caught. And a brilliant catch and play by Floyd Turner. 6th-round draft pick out of Northwest Louisiana. He and Perriman have speed that could make the Saints attack a big play attack this year. Barry Wilburn finally caught him after they beat the defense.
Well, this is an audible at the line of scrimmage. Bobby saw something there that he got man for man on Wilburn, and he took advantage of it. A nice throw and catch.
Is this the reason you think, Bill, that they're trying to move Wilburn to free safety?
Well, this could be, but I think Bobby picked up some kind of blitz there and got man for man on him, and they got terrifically fast receivers.
He beat Green, too. First down on the 11. Hebert's pass incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down as Mann and Manley rushed well from the outside with 4:49 to go. But we got a glimpse. One thing the Saints have not shown has been really a wide-open attack in recent years, and Jim Morris told us before the game that's because we don't have the personnel. Hebert has the ability to throw deep, has not had the receivers, but maybe with Floyd Turner on the scene and Brett Perriman, who Mora thinks is more mature, the Saints will kind of stretch it out a little more.
Well, you know, when he was in the USFL, Bobby Hebert, he could throw deep very well when he had the good receivers, so he can throw deep. He's a good deep passer.
2nd down 10.
And a deep thinker as well.
Hilliard inside the 10 to the 6. 3rd down, and the Saints can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Alvin Walton and Todd Bowles made the stop on Dalton Hilliard.
Here the Saints line kept the blocks, and let Dalton just find the hole. They just stayed with their man. See Wilbur getting blocked there. He didn't want to let him outside, and nobody filled inside. The Saints did a good job of blocking that time, Dalton.
And it was a good job of running.
3rd down and 4. And the crowd upwards of 55,000 looking to see if the Saints can go in, and a chance for the Redskin defense to get a gold star. Ball is at the 6. Hebert's pass incomplete.
Lucky that wasn't picked up.
That was Turner again, the intended receiver, and Alvin Walton got a piece of it. It'll be 4th down.
He threw right in the middle of coverage that time. He's lucky it didn't get picked off right there.
Morton Anderson's going to come on, and right now all Jim Mora wants to do is down 13-0, just cut the lead to 10.
That's what you call risky business, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, he tried to make something happen and force it. Look at all those white jerseys. He's trying to put it through the eye of a needle, and sometimes that don't work.
Winslow will hold for Morton Anderson, who missed the field goal from 49 yards out earlier. This will be a 23-yard attempt. It's bobbled, and Winslow being chased by Mann. Going to try to run it in. He could get a first down, you know. And if he made the sticks, the Saints will have a first down.
He might have made first down.
He also might have broke his shoulder.
Let's see where they spot it. They didn't make it. Didn't make it, and they missed it by a half a yard.
Well, here the holder bobbles the ball. Now he's going to run for it. It looked like for a while he's going to make a touchdown or maybe the first down. Here's a better angle here. Well, the Saints are making a lot of mistakes here.
Now you'll see Mann. And finally coming up was Raven Caldwell to make the first down saving play.
That was a good tackle by Raven. Boy, it could have been a first down. He was close. He knocks it right straight back.
I think Winslow kind of cowered a little when he saw Caldwell coming.
Stan Humphries is coming at quarterback, and he comes in on the 2-yard line. Jamie Morris is stopped from behind by Pat Swopes, gain of a couple. So Stan Humphries, welcome to the game. You're on the 2-yard line, and
puts him in a kind of tough situation. I think Stan's going to finish. Of course, he'll finish out the half. And I think maybe you'll see Mark start the half to get him, used to the start of the regular season, and he might play the third quarter, and then you'll see Stan back in.
Frank McEwen is in at tight end as well, number 32. He's out of Northeast Louisiana, as we told you, on the 3-yard line, 2nd down and 9. Again, for nothing. Swopes makes the stop on Morris.
Well, the Redskins would really like to get the ball out of here, although they're not going to throw it on 1st and 2nd down and take a chance on an interception. They're going to try and run it out and maintain possession and try to get a decent punt.
2 minutes and 55 seconds remain in the first half, and a timeout has been called by the Saints, their first, so each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Of course, the Saints are looking to get the ball back in good field position to do some business.
We haven't seen Mosi Jenko punt the ball yet tonight.
No, we haven't. Just hold.
This may be our first chance.
This was a good spot for him to try, isn't it, coming out of here? We'll see the pressure on him. Well, that's where it should be anyway. They say that Washington called a timeout here.
That's right. Well,
so
no, it's 2-2. 2-2. The timeouts are 2 apiece. Jim Mora. Changed his approach this season by not working the Saints too much at camp because they got tired last year. He saw them really wear down after they opened up with a very impressive 7-1 record. They faltered at the end. In fact, I did the game that they won in Anaheim against the Rams, and they looked like they could go far in the playoffs, and they went downhill after that. 3rd down and 10 at the 2-yard line. Tough spot for Stan Humphries. Incomplete. Nowhere near Art Monk, and Antonio Gibson was diving trying to get the interception. It'll be 4th down, and now you'll see the new Redskin kicker, Ralph Mosienko, kick. Wayne Sevier knew him, of course, in San Diego. Interestingly enough, Mosienko was asked to angle kicks instead of booming them in San Diego. Joe Madden was the special teams coach, plus there was a contract squabble, and so here he is with the Redskins, who are happy as heck to have him. Dave Harbour will be the snapper. And back for the Saints is Derek Shepard, the ex-Redskin. Here is Shepard trying to win a job. Shepard let the coverage get close to him, and then he carried to the 41-yard line, where Terry Orr makes his 3rd tackle on special teams in this first half.
Well, it wasn't one a booming kick, but it was effective anyway to get it out of there. He had to kick fairly quick.
So Terry Orr has had a bittersweet first half. He has dropped 2 passes, but on special teams, he has made some fine tackles. But now with 2:38 to go, Saints have 2 timeouts to go, and they have it on the Redskin 42.
Mosienko was operating with, what, about 2 yards short of his regular punting distance, and he had to get the ball off a little quicker than normal.
They go with 3 wide receivers. Hebert gets away, and then they claim he was in the grasp. Fred Stokes, who is the one thing about Stokes, when you consider the reserves, is that he has experience having played with the Rams. He was injured and has come back, and he made a fine play getting inside.
Good play. He just overpowered his guard there. And Bobby just kind of froze. I don't know what he was looking at. The coverage was very good then. And he just kind of froze there and didn't know where to throw the ball.
Loss of 14 yards. Hebert back in his own territory. Nearly picked off by Davis, and the pass was intended.
Manley's coming to life tonight, I think. He's been constantly in that backfield all night on a passing play. He had Hebert in his grasp pretty much, but he'd already delivered the ball.
Dexter made a nice move here. Got out and around. That's what he likes to do, is rush from the outside. When he knows they're going to pass, he's awful tough to block.
3rd down and 24 with 2:16 showing on the clock. Bobby Hebert.
These Saint fans are getting a little testy with Buster Hebert. He's not having a very good first half here. And you can hear him start to boo.
Well, John Forcade and Dave Wilson, who will all make the team, they'll carry 3 quarterbacks this year, will play. They are playing most of the second half. The Saints have called a timeout. They have 1 left. So they have some time to set up a 3rd and 24. They're back on their own 45-yard line. After the punt by Mosienko, the Saints had the ball on the 41 of the Redskins and looked like they were in good field position, and at least to get Anderson to give them a chance to score. But now they got some problems.
Well, the Redskins defense rose to the occasion. They made 2 big plays here, and that's good to see, isn't it, John?
That's what they're going to have to do, and that's, as the season goes on, I think that they'll continue to do this. I think they were a little spotty in the beginning of the year, and a lot of people say, well, what about the Redskins defense? They're going to have trouble on the run. They don't have any pass rush, but you never really can count them out of it, because every year I think they put a great defense on the field, at least a good one. And as I said earlier, I think they've got the athletes to have a great one this year. Well, and they're playing pretty close to it tonight, I think.
Well, as you mentioned at the top, the question is in the defensive line. Dave Butts retires, and then Dean Hamill is, of course, now with the Dallas Cowboys of all teams. And so now they move Cook over there, which, of course, affects the fact that Manley is, has got to handle everything at defensive end. But now you see Stokes and Duckins all show some flashes here.
I saw Bobby Aver's 3 for 13 and only 61 yards. They're going to face a lot better quarterback than Phil Simms come Monday night. And they're going to have a little more problems. They gave up over 300 yards passing to the Dolphins last week.
They got 4 men rushing, 1 linebacker, Monty Coleman, and 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 24. Penalty marker down. Hebert is chased by Manley and driven out of bounds. Back at the 34-yard line, but there's a flag down.
Marshall hurt.
Wilbur Marshall
hurt his knee. Wilbur's getting up and he's walking fairly good. So.
Came in at the last minute was Marshall.
I think he hurt his feelings.
Offense, 12 men on the field. Defense, replay the down. Offsetting foul.
No wonder they had so many guys in that backfield. They had 12 men up there. Nobody could block them all.
Marshall is going to leave the game, it looks. Walking off seems to be all right.
Well, they're trying to get their nickel defense in, and Wilbur's not on their nickel defense. He could have been the 12th man there.
They got Manley and Mann in there at the ends. They have Stokes and Duckins in at the tackles. 6 defensive backs, including A.J. Johnson. And now the 2-minute warning is upon us. So 2 minutes to go in the first half. It is still the Redskins 13, the Saints nothing.
Not everybody pops up like toast in the morning, but right now you can get an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's for just 99 cents. Of course, you could wait till later and get a McChicken sandwich for 99 cents too. Not everybody feels like going out all the time, but right now you can get a McDonald's McChicken sandwich for just 99 cents. Of course, you could wait till breakfast and get an Egg McMuffin for 99 cents too.
Clarence Wingate of Maryland won an '89 Escort in the Great Ford Giveaway. How did you do it, Clarence?
With a pen.
And Lydia Bloxton won an Escort. How does it feel?
Like a dream. Someone pinched me.
Now your Ford dealer is giving away 10 more new Escorts plus $1,000 in the Great Ford Giveaway Part 2. There's no purchase necessary, so see your Ford dealer before Labor Day, and you too could be the winner of an '89 Escort, like the Ryans of Middle River, Maryland.
He hasn't been the same since.
If you can't wait for our weekly $10,000 drawing, remember, Lucky Draw has over $25 million in instant prizes, too. Just go to your nearby lottery retailer.
To help you compete for our $1 million grand prize, we've called in the feds. If you mail us 5 losing lottery tickets, you'll get a chance at $1 million.
2 minutes to go in the first half. Dick Stockton, John Riggins, and Bill Kilmer here in the final preseason game. Redskins trying to finish at 4-1. Lead 13-0. They've managed 1 touchdown and 2 field goals, but have had tremendous ball control. Their time of possession is huge, and their passing edge is amazing. And they've been using the second-team offensive line, but they've now are using some new people, Stokes and Duckins, who did not start the game at tackle. 3rd down and 24 for Hebert in the shotgun. Darrell Colbert, number 86, is a wide receiver. They have 4 wideouts. Walton is faking a blitz. Hebert's pass, and it's thrown behind the receiver, nowhere near him. It was intended for Eric Martin, and that'll be 4th down, and the crowd is downright disgusted with the Saints offense that came close to scoring earlier this quarter.
Well, the Redskins did come with a safety blitz there, and Hebert and his receivers just didn't match up there. Hebert thought he was going to go out, and the receiver took it up the field, so they're having a tough time here.
George Winslow will kick. There's Joe Howard. Hebert 3 for 14 and only 61 yards through the air. The Redskins still have 2 timeouts left themselves. Just under 2 minutes to go. Here's Howard at the 20. To about the 27-yard line. And that was Bobby Morse on the stop. So we'll see what Stan Humphries does now in the final 1 minute 46 seconds of this first half.
I'll tell you what Richie Pettibone's doing out there. He's changing up his coverages a lot, which he told me at the start of the season that he had to do this year because they locked down on him. The good teams really locked on him, and they gave up too many big plays and a lot of yards passing. So he said we have to mix our coverages a lot more. And tonight I see a lot more mixing, and that's what's confusing Bobby.
Howard and Monk wide to the right. A little better field position for Humphries this time around. Morris blocking. Here's Morris receiving. Morris running. Morris getting a 1st down.
There's your little screen pass we haven't seen, and Redskins called it. That was a nice call there.
Stacey Harvey on the stop. Good blocking after the catch, and a good block by Rollie McKenzie, the left guard.
Humphries has got a great opportunity here to put some points on the board. There's a lot of time left on the clock. He gets a 2-minute drill. He drops back here. He looks off the receivers downfield, sets up the screen very well. Unfortunately, 2 linemen take out 1 man. They wasted a man there. One of them should have turned upfield.
Timeout called by the Redskins, so each team has 1 timeout remaining. 1:36 to go, and the Redskins will have the ball on their own 40-yard line. We expect in the second half for the Redskins to see the wide receiver Stephen Hobbs, who may be the only man who has a chance to unseat this man, Joe Howard, for the number 4 receiving spot on the roster.
You know, Wayne Sevier. You see Joe Gibbs talking to Wayne Sevier right now, and they're trying to set up where can we give Chip Lohmiller a chance to kick the field goal? How far back down can we do it? And that's what Wayne was asking Joe.
Ernest Biner has checked in. He has had a fine first half with 2 catches for over 40 yards, replacing Jamie Morris. First down on the 40. Humphreys tending for Monk out of bounds. Gibson covering.
Well, last week, if I'm not mistaken, against Miami, Lohmiller bounced one off the upright that was, I believe, close to a 49-yard kick. I think he can easily kick him 50+ if he gets a chance.
Well, I'm sure he can. He's got a good leg. He probably could get in the 60 range, and pretty easy here, especially in the dome where the ball carries a lot better.
Humphreys in his brief outing, his numbers 1 for 3 for 13 yards. Second down and 10 on the 40. Monk in motion right. Dumps it off to Biner. Gets hit. And Biner gets to the 46-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and about 4.5. Clock continues to run. 1:18 to go. Harvey on the stop.
That was basically the same play they ran to Morris 2 plays before. It was just a little screen pass to the outside.
Nearly a minute to go. There's the clock in the first half. Humphreys on 3rd down. Adam McEwen has the first down with the reception into Saints territory to the 43-yard line with 55 seconds to go, and Humphreys will yell out another play at the line.
You get 10 more yards, you're within his range. Might be within his range right now.
Humphreys up the middle, and Howard makes a fine turnaround catch and a first down to the 26-yard line. Another first down, and now the clock is moving. Humphreys, mighty impressive in this 2-minute drill to close out the first half. And he stops the clock the way you should with 25 seconds to go. Showed a lot of poise, quarterback, huh?
Yeah, he really did. It was a nice catch. He threw it behind Joe Howard here, but Joe made a great catch here. Stans did a nice job here. He used a good presence of mind. Here we got Joe Howard coming across the middle, but sets his play up as good pass protection to let Howard get into that seam here of the zone. Boy, that's a good catch. He had turned all the way around for that one. That was a fine catch. Here's an end zone view of it. Here Stan sets up good, throws. Had to get behind that lane. There was an arm in his way, but it was a good catch.
4 for 7 for 46 yards is Humphreys. Jimmy Johnson is in the tight end. Second down and 10 at the 26. Time even going to run out. Pass was intended for Art Monk. Covering on the play was number 40, Robert Massey, the rookie.
Well, they had a dog on that play, and Stan did a smart thing. Monk wasn't really coming out of his break, but he had to throw it. He wanted to get away. He doesn't want to get himself out of this field goal range. They got a sure 3 points right here, pretty sure. And they don't want to make any mistakes. He also has 1 timeout left, so there's plenty of time to maybe even score.
I believe you're right. They could easily get a touchdown.
21 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd down and 10 at the 26. Stephen Hobbs, the wide receiver, number 19 in the game, lining up at the top of your picture. Humphreys goes up the middle, and it's picked off. Dave Waymer. And that ends that threat as the Redskins turn it over for the 3rd time in the game.
There's a flag down here.
All right, at the 5-yard line. Let's wait and see.
Well, if this pass interference, you're going to hear some booing.
It is.
Uh-oh. They might not get this play off.
Pass interference, and Humphreys was pointing right away. He had seen it.
Illegal contact. Number 39, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Jimmy Johnson. No. Brett Maxey, the strong safety. Brett Maxey, who is battling Dave Waymer for the free safety position. Playing strong safety on that play, guilty of the call, and with 11 seconds to go, the ball is at the 21, first down.
Stan got a reprieve there.
Yes, he did.
He made a bad throw. He was looking at a couple of receivers, and he tried to go deep, and it wasn't a very good throw. He got lucky right there.
They may have 1 play before they go for the field goal attempt. That may be all they have. That may be all they need. Humphries. Hobbs goes out of bounds with 5 seconds to go, and now they're going to bring Lohmiller in, I'm sure, to try the field goal. Milton Mack defending.
Now, this must have been a missed coverage or something, because Hobbs was out there all by himself, and I thought maybe he might score a touchdown before the Saints recovered, but that was a nice little play, and Hobbs did a nice job getting out of bounds and stopping the clock.
So Lohmiller will try his third field goal. He's already kicked 2 from 28 and 45 yards. This will be a 28-yard attempt again. Holding is Mosienko. The kick is up. The kick is good, and it's 2 seconds to go. Chip Lohmiller has his third field goal of the game, and the Redskins lead at 16-0 over the Saints.
Well, that was a nice little drive. It was a good 2-minute drive by Stan Humphries. He showed some poise in there, except for that interception where he got lucky and they called it back. I thought it was a very impressive drive, John.
It sure was. The coaches, I don't think, will be that impressed with that interception when they go to look at the film. Unfortunately, even though you may be saved by a penalty on the field, it doesn't do you much good in the meeting room.
Well, you got to remember, Stan hasn't played a lot. You know, this is his first year. He needs a lot of experience. The same quarterback, I mean, the Redskin quarterbacks right now, if I had a knock against them, is lack of experience, and they're going to get a lot of playing. I know, of course, Mark Rippon's going to get a lot of playing time, and then, of course, Stan will play when he's needed. And but that's probably the only thing wrong with that the Redskin offense right now is inexperience at quarterback.
Well, I think going into the season, Bill, I think they realized that. I don't know at the time the position that Doug Williams was in, but you have to think that Joe Gibbs eventually is going to go to the future with Mark Ripien. You bring in Gerald Riggs and you solve a lot of those young quarterback problems, because if he can keep running the football, it's going to keep a lot of pressure off the guys, and they're going to complete passes.
No, you're right. I think what set up this little drive was the 2 little screen passes to Jamie Morris that got some yards and brought the Saint defense up, and they hit a big play down the middle. So it was a well-designed drive. Of course, Joe Gibbs calls all the plays over there, and it was great execution.
Paul Frazier is back. He's been the leading rusher in preseason for the Saints. Time is run out. Frazier gets to the 35. And the tackle made there by Terry Orr once again. So 3 Chip Lohmiller field goals and a 2-yard touchdown run by Willard Reeves. 16-0. Fine defense for the Redskins. That drive, by the way, started on their own 27, went 66 yards, and Humphries was fine there. Right now, let's go down to Steve Buckham. Steve?
Escaped this first half with just a few nitpicking injuries. You both mentioned that Mark May and Donnie Warren were on the sidelines. Both went into the locker room and were x-rayed. Donnie Warren for a bad neck, Mark May for bruised ribs. Both of them are negative. Donnie Warren with just a sprained neck and Mark May with bruised ribs, so he is okay. They were also working on Mike Tice with a bad neck and Barry Wilburn with a bad neck, but none of them appear to be too serious. And the Redskins escape with a 16-0 lead and also some injuries that hopefully don't appear to be too serious. We'll be taking a short break and then returning to the Superdome in New Orleans. Hope you stay tuned and join us in a few minutes as the Redskins lead the Saints 16-0.
America's best-selling premium unleaded gasoline is now even better. With double the detergency to open clogged fuel injectors and keep them open for faster starts, better drivability. New improved SU-2000. It exceeds the highest industry standard for intake valve cleanliness, and it's only from Shell. Experience the difference.
The all-new 1990 Subaru Legacy has more impressive standard features than the Camry or Accord. Now, to make room for the Legacy, Subaru is clearing out its 89s.
With $1,000 back on 89 sedans, $1,000 back on 89 3-doors, $1,000 back on wagons, $3,000 back on XT, $1,000 back on Justy.
With all that cash back standard, you can raise your standard of living.
Raise your standard of living. See your Subaru dealer.
Recently, one of First American's tellers began his own campaign to attract new customers.
Free checking down here.
After some success, he increased his efforts.
1% bonus on regular savings accounts.
Well, management was very impressed.
1% discount on most lines of credit, people.
So he went even further.
1% rebate on purchases with a 1% Visa card.
And now there's a new free checking account package called the Better One, available when you open a new personal checking account.
Free checking.
Just ask any of our helpful personnel about it.
And now, from the nation's #1 primetime newscast, this is a special Channel 5 halftime report.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this special halftime edition of the news. I'm Angela Robinson with Don Ellison. Morris Jones has the night off. Baseball's commissioner and staunch defender of the sport's integrity is dead this evening. Bart Giamatti suffered a heart attack this afternoon at his weekend home on Martha's Vineyard. He served as baseball commissioner for only 5 months, but during that time, he presided over one of the sport's biggest controversies, suspending Pete Rose for life for betting on baseball. Giamatti was 51 years old. We'll have more on Giamatti's career and reaction to his death on the post-game show after the Redskins game.
Veterinarians at the National Zoo are fighting to keep a female baby panda alive tonight. The baby, named Mai Mai, was found to have an infection shortly after birth this morning. Channel 5's John Henrahan has more on the story.
In the whole world, it is believed there are only about 700 giant pandas. Today, the number climbed to 701.
At 9:05 this morning, Ling Ling gave birth to a cub, a single infant. And at this point on the monitors, you can see that she is in her nest and she's attending to the cub.
Ling Ling has given birth 3 other times in the 1980s, but none of the 4 cubs has survived longer than a few days. Although today's cub appeared healthy and strong, zookeepers decided on a medical intervention.
In general, we plan to anesthetize Ling Ling and remove the cub for a brief period of time and give it an injection of immunoglobulin. This is a substance that's been extracted from Xing Xing, the male panda's blood. It will help to boost the immune system of the cub and help it to fight infection.
The major factor in the decision to intervene, it has been infections that have claimed the lives of Ling Ling's earlier cubs. Today, it was time to try something different. Unfortunately, zoo veterinarians have found signs of infection in both Ling Ling and in her infant daughter.
If we hadn't done this procedure, of course, we would never have found these things out. We would never have the chance to do anything about it, and the baby would have died of an infection just like the previous 4.
Zoo veterinarians are now treating both mother and daughter, and everyone here is hoping the world's newest panda survives. John Henrahan, Channel 5 News at National Zoo.
Panama has a new president, a leader handpicked by General Manuel Noriega. Channel 5's Patrick McGrath reports the Bush administration reacted with anger.
The new provisional president of Panama is Francisco Rodriguez, a close ally and advisor to General Manuel Noriega. General Noriega chose him after Noriega overturned the results of a May 7th election that international observers say had been won by opponents of Noriega. In Washington, President Bush issued a statement calling the new government illegitimate. He said, "The United States will not recognize any government installed by General Noriega. Our ambassador will not return, and we will not have any diplomatic contact with the Noriega regime."
Noriega's naming of a so-called provisional government is completely outside Panama's constitution and is in effect a thinly disguised coup d'etat.
The president said the U.S. will continue its efforts to stop General Noriega's involvement in drug trafficking. Noriega remains under criminal indictment in the U.S. for his drug activities, but the U.S. has so far been powerless to extradite him for prosecution. Economic sanctions against Panama will remain in effect, and the president suggested other steps may be taken in the future to keep the pressure on. The U.S. gained support for its position from 7 South American countries that have recalled their ambassadors from Panama in protest.
There seems little likelihood that the measures outlined by the president today will force General Noriega from power. And while that may be frustrating for the president, that concern takes a back seat to the more pressing problem of getting rid of the violent drug cartels in Colombia. Patrick McGrath, Channel 5 News, the White House.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu is free again tonight after spending several hours in a South African jail for leading an anti-apartheid protest through Cape Town. But Tutu may still face charges along with his wife and more than 30 other activists. The U.S. State Department has made its concern known to the South African government and wants a full report on the incident.
Mayor Barry wants to meet with Attorney General Dick Thornburgh as soon as possible. Barry says leaks about the Justice Department probe of the mayor's alleged dope smoking have damaged his ability to govern. Channel 5's David Burnett caught up with the vacationing mayor today.
The mayor, who is vacationing at the summer home of cable executive and campaign co-chairman Robert Johnson in Dewey Beach, Delaware, would not comment on the letter to Attorney General Thornburgh or reports that Charles Lewis has told federal investigators he and Barry smoked crack cocaine together. Yesterday, the mayor, through his staff director, blasted federal authorities for leaks to the news media and contended Lewis, convicted of drug charges in the Virgin Islands and in jail awaiting trial on drug charges in Washington, was coerced into making damaging statements about Barry. Nonetheless, sources say there may be enough corroborated evidence to indict the mayor on perjury and obstruction of justice charges. Meanwhile, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a longtime Barry friend and potential mayoral candidate himself, said no one should prejudge the mayor, and then blasted the leaks.
Leaks are lawless. In America, the due process, should take place in a courtroom and not in the newsroom.
But with friends coming to his aid, the mayor appears relaxed and seems to be putting this latest controversy behind him. Barry is expected to return to Washington on Sunday. David Burnett, Channel 5 News, Dewey Beach, Delaware.
Violence erupted yet again today in Brooklyn, New York, when two men arrested for killing a black teenager were allowed to remain free. A tense confrontation followed today's arraignment as a supporter of the Reverend Al Sharpton attacked a WNYW TV camera crew that refused to stop filming the teenager's family. Two members of the crew went to the hospital. Sharpton later apologized.
Work crews tonight are still on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway trying to remove the tons of rubble from a collapsed bridge. Yesterday, an overpass under construction near Laurel collapsed, injuring 14 people, and today a persistent fire broke out among the debris, complicating cleanup efforts. Officials now say it might be Monday or Tuesday before the southbound lanes of that highway are cleared. Montgomery County firefighters are still on the scene after battling a two-story blaze at the Walter Reed Medical Center's Forest Glen facility. Officials say the fire broke out in the polyurethane insulation, which can give off toxic fumes when it burns. Firefighters say the insulation began to burn again, and officials are still concerned about toxic fumes.
A federal judge in Texas says Delta Airlines alone is responsible for the 1985 crash that killed 137 people. Today's ruling ends a 14-month, $150 million legal war between the government and Delta. Delta Flight 191 crashed in Dallas, Texas during a violent thunderstorm. Delta claimed air traffic controllers and the National Weather Service did not provide the flight crew with adequate weather information.
Stock prices pushed higher today as trading was slow in anticipation of the long Labor Day weekend. The Dow Jones Industrial Average advanced about 15 points to close the session at 2752.09, an all-time record high. Volume was very light, with just over 133 million shares changing hands.
Now with a quick look at the weather, we've got meteorologist Jeff Lawson standing by.
Big holiday weekend coming up. Everybody's wondering how the weather's going to be over the next several days. Probably not so great tomorrow, but for Sunday and Monday, certainly just delightful weather. We want to start off, though, talking about Hurricane Gabrielle. If you look over in the right-hand side of your picture there, you can see a landmass. That is Africa. So Gabrielle is a long, long way from any land since it's moving to the west at 20 miles per hour. Top wind's up to 75, and there you can see the coordinates of it. Still probably close to a week away from the U.S., and that's assuming that it keeps on its present track. So we'll be keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, closer to home, frontal system stretching from the Great Lakes back down through the middle part of the country is getting set to move in. We've already seen the clouds on the increase around here, even a few showers and thunderstorms showing up. If we can go to the local radar very quickly out of Patuxent River, you can see a line of storms not too far away from just west of Dulles, heading up toward the central portions of Maryland. Back to the graphics now. You can see the forecast map for tomorrow shows that clearing will be slow. I think by afternoon we'll be seeing a little bit of sunshine around here, more of that in the western parts of the state. And then the high temperatures tomorrow should be a little bit cooler than what we had today. Still up into the 80s tomorrow as the hot 90s gets shunted off to the south and east. And then the forecast for Sunday, pretty much the same thing. Specifically then for overnight, we're calling it scattered showers or thunderstorms, temperature 68 to 75. The forecast for tomorrow, morning clouds, increasing afternoon sun, 82 to 87. Tomorrow night, clear and cool. The 5-day forecast then very quickly is calling for temperatures to finally warm up. But the next Sunday, Monday, great days. Tomorrow's sort of a transition day.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Jeff. Don.
Finally tonight, despite many a whimper, the eating of dog meat is on the rise once again in South Korea. The Korean government tried to restrict dog markets during last year's Summer Olympics, and restaurants were told not to serve it for fear of putting off foreign tourists. But now dog meat is on, and it's in once again, though it still trails behind pork and beef.
Okie dokie.
Okay. That's it for this special halftime edition of the 10 o'clock news.
For Don and Jeff, I'm Angela Robinson. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 10. Right now, we send you back to New Orleans and the Skins game. Good night.
When you're climbing a hill, you don't need hesitation problems, which is why you'll want Texaco's new System 3 gasoline. It can keep new cars running like new and actually help restore performance to older cars. It'll give you more power from every octane. Another satisfied customer. 5 tanks is all we ask.
Now's the time to say yes to Oldsmobile's model year in sale. Say yes to Cutlass quality from just $99.95. Say yes to 2.9% financing or up to $1,500 cash back. So beat the 1990 price increases and say yes to sensational model year-end savings. At your new generation Oldsmobile dealer, there's no better time to say yes.
Kentucky Fried Chicken has a fresh meal deal. Just $2.99 for a fresh cooked meal. You get a choice, original recipe chicken or new extra tasty crispy. 3 pieces of chicken, juicy and hot. Fresh biscuits. Fresh coleslaw. You really get a lot. For a fresh meal deal, just cross the road to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Tonight's Redskins preseason game is brought to you in part by your Washington area Toyota dealers, home of the incredible shrinking sticker prices. See your nearest Toyota dealer for big incentive savings and a great Toyota deal. And by Chevron and high-octane Chevron Supreme with Tech-Reline. Chevron, we're with you all the way.
Halftime activities continue live from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Redskins lead the Saints 16-0. Steve Buckhand's back with you. The Redskins scoring on 3 Chip Lohmiller field goals, 2 of them in the first 2 quarters. The first one of 28 yards, the second one of 45 yards. And then the Redskins sustain a long drive consuming 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and they score on Willard Reeves' 6th touchdown of the preseason. Here it is, Reeves on a 2-yard run. An 8-play drive, goes left side, and just as he hits the goal line, fumbles the ball, but they say he broke the plane of the goal line, and they gave him 6 points. Lohmiller's extra point was good, made it 13-0. There's the time of Poe on the drive, 55 yards long. And then Lohmiller, after a nice Stan Humphries drive just before the end of the half, connected on one from 29 yards out. Unofficially, Humphries 5 of 9 for 56 yards, and Mark Rippon 10 of 16 for 159 yards and 1 interception. And gentlemen, I think you'll agree that the Redskins have pretty much taken the Saints crowd out of this football game with a quick snap, or at least going with a snap and not trying to hang on and go for that penalty. It's worked very effectively. I don't know if that's been part of the strategy, but it certainly has worked, as the fans have not been able to stifle things here for the Redskins. Let's go back upstairs to Dick Stockton.
All right, Buck, thank you very much. And I guess the thing about the Redskin defense has really been the story of this first half, wouldn't you think?
Well, yeah. I think so. I think the defense has really done a good job. There's some holes there, but Richie is changing up his coverages. He's making it tough on Bobby Hebert, and he had a terrible half.
All right, well, the kickoff is starting. John, your thoughts on the first half? Anything else?
The Redskins are doing what they want to do, I think. They haven't really looked crisp and clean, I don't think. Not as nearly as clean as they could have. But they're still leading this game, and we got another half to go.
Lohmiller is kicking off. Paul Frazier at the goal line. Gets a good block. Nearly broken, and if he had, he might have gone all the way. Brings it out to the 41-yard line. Carl Harry and Chip Lohmiller, the kicker, making the stop on Frazier, who they think has a great shot at making this team.
Watch Lohmiller here. He gets in on a tackle. This first contact he's had all year, right?
Yeah, and I don't think he really gets paid to have contact.
No.
It's not good when your kicker makes part of the play. There's a pocket inside, right in the middle of the coverage team.
Might hurt his golf swing. Too many tackles hurt his golf swing.
John Forcade is the quarterback. Bobby Hebert maybe through for the night. Forcade, who will make the team along with Dave Wilson. Hayward. Harry Stokes up to the 44-yard line, gain of 4 yards on the play. So a 41-yard kickoff return by Paul Frazier, giving Forcade, in his third year out of the University of Mississippi, good field position. The question the Saints have, not who will make the team or not backing up Hebert, but who will indeed be the second-team quarterback, and that's where Forcade and Dave Wilson will be battling.
I think Forcade's got a real shot to play. He's a very, very intelligent kid. He had some problems coming out of Mississippi and went to Canada for a while, and he, very outspoken man.
Second down and 7 at the 44-yard line. Rolling out, I think that was a busted play, and Forcade back to the 40-yard line will lose 4 yards on the play. Compliments of Raven Caldwell and Librand Robinson. So see the play, and then we'll tell you who's in defensively for Washington.
Well, I make a statement how intelligent he is, and he goes the wrong way here. He wanted to give it to Ironhead, and it's Forcade's fault all the way. He wanted to go left, and he went right.
With a name like Ironhead, Bill, I'm not so sure. No, that was definitely the quarterback. He just forgot which way he was supposed to hand it off.
Tracy Rocker, the third-round pick from Auburn, is in there. Librand Robinson also in on the action. Three-man line, and let's see if Wilbur Marshall is in there, and if not, it would be Raven Caldwell. It is Marshall. Marshall is in there as a rusher. Pass is overthrown, intended for Lonzel Hill, so it'll be 4th down. So we got a glimpse on that last play of a three-man line. The Redskins have used a three-man line before, but never to free a linebacker to rush a la the likes of Lawrence Taylor, and that's what Wilbur Marshall was in that position. We'll see if we see more of it. Winslow will punt, and Howard goes back for the Redskins, which is interesting because it takes Dexter Manley out of the game. And
well, Wilbur Marshall is a good pass rusher.
Yep.
I think you have to utilize that talent somehow. And Richie and Laverne Torgerson has come up with that defense to get him in the pass rush.
It was not a good punt, but it ended up rolling nicely for the Saints, and Howard runs it out of bounds.
Well, putting Marshall in like that is something I wonder if it's not just a little window dressing for the Giants and some other teams that they're going to play early, although it could be something that if he looks good at and the defense is successful with, the coaches get ideas that way and think, hey, why not try it next week?
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. Stan Humphries, the quarterback. He's got Jamie Morris in the backfield, and McEwen, the tight end, up there. And the pass is Carl Harry on the completion end, and Harry brings it out to the 26-yard line, gain of 4 that time.
Dick, this surprised me that he started Stan Humphries at the start of the half. I thought he might bring in Mark Rippon to give him that feeling of starting out the half and starting with the first unit and getting in the gist of things, getting ready for the Monday night game. But he crossed me up here a little bit, and Stan's getting a good look.
Russ Grimm is the center, by the way. Grimm is playing center. Harry is in motion. 2nd down and 6 on the 26. Fake. And Humphries out of the backfield completes the pass. Jimmy Johnson. Good hands. Jimmy Johnson has has shown that he can catch the ball. That's been so apparent throughout the entire preseason.
Well, that's right. He's a great receiver. You know, Terry Orr lost a little, lackluster in the first half. He dropped 2 big balls, and now Jimmy Johnson's going to get his chance to show what he can do, and he's a great receiver.
1st and 10 on the 40. Stephen Hobbs and Carl Harry are the wide receivers. Morris into the line to the 40-yard line. No gain. It'll be 2nd down. Stacy Harvey on the stop. Simmons remains in there on the offensive line for the Redskins.
That's the counter Trey, and as I was saying in the first half, I think the New Orleans Saints are ready for that play tonight. And that's also a play because that defense is pinching it down so hard. A running back has the ability and the latitude to bounce that play outside, and I think if they keep running the play, although Joe Gibbs will probably get away from it now, I think that plays outside.
Yeah, Bostic has replaced Grimm at center. Ralph Tam is also in at guard number 64. He's one of the snapping candidates as well. 2nd down and 9 at the 41. Morris for a couple. It'll be 3rd and long for the Redskins now. Gene Atkins, tough injury for the Saints, has a dislocated shoulder. Atkins battling Antonio Gibson for the starting strong safety spot. The Saints really shook up their secondary. Toy Cook, you saw him enter the game, number 41, is battling Milton Mack for one corner. Robert Massey, the 2nd-round pick, has won a job already. Dave Waymer moved from corner to free safety, and then there's the battle at strong. Joe Mickles, number 30. There he is, the one back there. 3rd and 7 at the 43 with Harry in motion. May have an encroachment. Humphreys, and a catch there made by Mickles. Short of a 1st down, of course, by plenty. Stop made by Gibson. Let's see if the Saints are guilty of encroachment. Head linesman, Tom White.
Offside defense, also holding defense.
The holding will be more severe. That'll be an automatic first.
5 yards up here. That penalty will be refused. Holding, 24 defense. That penalty's accepted. 5 yards, automatic 1st down.
That's Milton Mack. That one hurt for the Saints anyway.
Yeah, they've been making stupid mistakes tonight. You know, the Saints are really not playing smart football tonight. They're just kind of going through the motions. I don't know why. They were a playoff team here, and they better get ready to play because they play the Dallas Cowboys, who are not maybe as good talent-wise, but they're going to be ready to play next week.
1st down on the 48. McEwen went in motion. Here's Morris cutting upwards, and no gain at the most, John.
The New Orleans defense is they're really coming after the run now in the 2nd half. I think, and they were spotty in the 1st half a little bit. Of course, there's a difference when you have number 37 in there. He can get a few yards when there are no yards. There isn't really much here. They've got to squeeze down. There's nobody coming off the ball here on the line, and they just stuff the play right at the line of scrimmage.
Joe Jacoby, you saw, is in at right tackle, so a starter is in there. Ralph Tam, Bostic, Rollie McKenzie, Ed Simmons are the others in there. 2nd down and 10 at the 48. Here is Morris. And Morris gets into Saint territory to the 47-yard line. Maybe in somewhat of a defense for the Saints' lackluster showing thus far is the fact that this has been an extremely short week, playing Monday and then playing Friday. Of course, they've been home for both games.
Well, you got a point there, Dick, and you're probably right. That's probably a good reason for it. But, you know, let's get in the 2nd half. This is going to be the showcase for the reserve guys, the guys that are going to make or break it for the year. And that's what we're going to see here the rest of the 2nd half.
I was a little surprised like you, Bill. I didn't think that I thought they'd come out with their starters for a little bit to begin the 2nd half.
3rd and 5. Humphreys will be short by 3 yards. Down at the 45-yard line by Benny Thompson. So it'll be 4th down, and Mosienko will come in and kick for the 2nd time. The newly acquired kicker, and of course, Rick Tootin, who he had beaten out in San Diego and, of course, was dropped yesterday. And Greg Horn gone, so Mosienko is there, and back is Derek Shepard, who's fighting for a spot on the roster, has an outside chance to make it. Good high kick by Mosienko, but going deep and into the end zone and out for a touchback.
Well, I think that's what Wayne Sevier was hoping to see him do before this night was over. The first punt that he had a chance to, he was back all the way up in his end zone.
So it'll be the Saints on the 20 when we get back.
It's handshaking, deal-making on a great selection of Toyota Camrys. Factory incentives, extra value package of options make it the best time to deal on Camry. Family Circle's Family Car of the Year is now the deal of the year. It's year-end cleanup. Shake on a Toyota Camry deal and get quality without compromise.
Come on, shake, rattle, and roll. Toyota.
Good afternoon, Dad. Keep your hands off the fender. Did you read Chevron Supreme has high octane and Tecroline? Is that right? Maybe I could go fill it up. Just to the gas station.
For even better performance, new Chevron Supreme has 25% more Tecroline. No gasoline's better.
3 hours? Gee, Dad, you didn't want me to mix the old gas with the new gas, did you?
Chevron, we're with you all the way.
This is a recipe for love. New Cheese Lovers Plus. Blend an abundance of 3 alluring cheeses. Add 2 irresistible toppings, your choice. And what you get is 1 provocative pizza. Get all this love for only $8.99. Or get twice the affection for just $4 more. New Cheese Lovers Plus from Pizza Hut. The name says it all.
Washington Redskins in their final preseason game of the 1989 season, leading the New Orleans Saints 16-0. Dick Stockton, Billy Kilmer, and John Riggins. The Redskins leading 16-0, showing a terrific defense here at the Superdome. This will be the site of the Super Bowl in January. Meanwhile, the Saints trying to muster something on offense and have only 70 yards total thus far on attack. Start from their 20-yard line. Frazier, who has been returning kicks all night, gets a chance to show what he could do in the backfield. He's the free agent rookie from Northwest Louisiana. He brings it out to the 24-yard line, and Greg Minuski in for Olkowitz at middle linebacker making the tackle. More speed. It seems to be, even though the Saints haven't done much offensively, you can see it with Turner as a wide receiver and maybe this kid Frazier.
Well, that's what they needed to build on from last year. They needed more team speed, and I think they've done it.
2nd down and 6 from the Saints 24. Forcade. He completes the pass. And that was Greg Scales, the tight end. 1st down. Barry Wilburn on the stop.
Nice little pass here. We used to call this a waggle, by Forcade. He hit Greg Scales across the middle there. It was a nice little possession-type pass.
That almost was disaster. See how close the running back was to him? It looked like they almost got their feet tangled up.
Up to the 35-yard line. Play fake. Forcade rolling out. Chased by Duckins, and he completes the pass. Mitch Andrews, the other tight end, along with Greg Scales, with Tyson Brenner out of there, makes a good play. 19-yard pickup.
You see what Forcade does for this offense. He can scramble a little bit. He's a little scrambler. He's a fiery guy. He makes things happen, and he's been doing it all year during the preseason. He's exciting. I kind of like him.
Kind of remind you of yourself a little bit in your younger days?
Way young.
Quick pass. Turner. And they got another 1st down. A 12-yard pickup. Colbert, that was. Darryl Colbert. A.J. Johnson makes the stop. This is about as crisp as the offense we've seen for the Saints tonight.
Well, they've changed up a little bit. Bobby Hebert is a pocket-type passer. He's more, using the running game. In this kid's been running around, moving. Posed a little problem for the Redskin defense.
Forcade on a roll here with 6:08 remaining in the third quarter. Second down and 3 at the 28. Frazier in motion. Hayward. Ironhead gets to the 30 and picks up at least 3 yards on that play.
Well, I think it's worth noting that the Redskins right now really basically have their second-team defense in there, and I think it's right now that the coaches are looking at some guys, possibly trying to showcase them for a trade, or maybe give them one last look before they make their final decision.
No, you're right, John.
Mark Duckins, Brian Bonner are all in there now. Greg Minuski, Tracy Rocker. They're not showcasing anything. They hope that he develops as a defensive lineman. Second down and 6 at the 29. Hayward went in motion. Here's Frazier again. Runs into his own man. And still picks up a yard or two.
For a lot of the Redskins out there, this is what is commonly known as the last chance saloon. They're getting right across the desert, I'm afraid.
So I would think under those circumstances, we're going to see some all-out football from these boys.
I would think that too, Dick, but then you have to remember, football's a team sport, and the game is 16-0. There's not really much going on. There's really not much fan excitement now. The fans are kind of dead. The player really has to drive himself and pump himself up now.
Third down and 4 for Forcade. Ducks away. If he wants to run, he may have a shot at it. He does, and gets the first down.
Well, you're right there, John, about the fan excitement. But if he keeps scrambling around and makes something happen, his fans will get with it in here. But you were dead right. I've never seen a St. crowd so subdued, even from the start. When everybody expected them to have such a big, booing and yaying and everything, they've been subdued all night. It must be Friday around here. Friday's always been a bad night in New Orleans.
He drops back here, and he doesn't see anybody downfield. Everybody's covered, so he just takes off to the right and picks up the first down.
Mayhew chased him out of bounds. Forcade made a big splash here a couple of years ago as a replacement quarterback during the strike. First down on the 22 for the Saints. Colbert. Colbert inside the 15.
Well, that's really all that the Saints really needed to bring this crowd back around. I think they were getting a little bored.
A.J. Johnson and Brian Bonner on this play.
Yeah, the Who-Dats are getting with it right now. And Forcade, he's their boy. He's always been, since the strike season. All the fans have liked Forcade.
Look at Colbert here.
I'm not sure really whose man he was supposed to be. I guess that was a zone.
Second down and 1 at the 13-yard line. Hayward is in motion. Here's Frazier cutting inside. Close to first down yardage. Forcade coming into this game in preseason had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 44%, and it is a first down for New Orleans.
Well, maybe the fans are saving it for the opener. What do you think, Bill?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They don't want to play themselves out on
Especially 2 games in 1 week for these fans. I mean, they had to get up for Cincinnati, a team that got to the Super Bowl. Redskins won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. How much can these fans really handle?
They're still hungover from Monday night.
This drives with Forcade at the helm, starting from the 20-yard line. They're at the 12, and another pass caught by Colbert again. Penalty flag. Is that a flag down at the 20? I don't know whether it's the popcorn box or a flag. It's been 50-50 so far today. This was a flag.
I remember, Dick, when there used to be whiskey bottles. Some half full.
They weren't yellow, though, were they?
No, well, you don't know what they were in those days. I'll tell you, they came from everywhere.
Offside, 75 defense, 5 yards.
Mark Duckins.
Still first down.
It was the ones from the top row that you didn't really like, right?
In Tulane Stadium, they could hurt. I always wore my helmet in Tulane Stadium. Never took my helmet off. I remember one time I was standing on the sidelines, and they were booing me and everything, and a friend of mine on the team, a coach, came by, and he said, I went over and sat by him. He says, "Get away from me. You're too dangerous."
You were a marked man.
I was marked. I had to wear a flak jacket.
It's like sitting beside the Ayatollah back when he was in power.
Hayward on 1st and 5. Gets down to the 5-yard line. Raven Caldwell second down and 3. They can get a first down without scoring, and the Saints, with their most impressive drive of the game, of course, goes without saying when you're down 16 to zip, 2:25 remaining. And John Forcade has given them a shot in the arm starting off the second half in place of Bobby Hebert.
They don't want to go into the week coming up with their opening game and not score any points in this. It doesn't give you a real good feeling.
Second and 3. Here's Frazier going wide. Frazier gets the first down, I believe, inside to about the 2. A.J. Johnson on the tackle, and that should be enough for a Saint first down.
Nice play by Johnson. He was pretty much isolated out in the open field with him. And he came up, although he got the first down.
We may have a measurement now to see whether they made the sticks.
Good blocking over here on the left side. They stay with their blocks very good. Ironhead kind of falls down there, but Frazier makes a nice run and makes the first down.
Might have had a little hold there by the tight end. It looked like he had a pretty good grip on the outside linebacker.
Frazier from northwestern Louisiana. There are a few of those. First down. Floyd Turner is a 6th-round pick from that same school, and Bobby Hebert also out of northwestern Louisiana. It is a first and goal now for the Saints, trailing 16 to nothing, with minute and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And Redskins had several good drives in the first half, but nothing like this.
Here's really a great opportunity for the Redskins defense. They've got a first and goal from the 2. There's nothing like a goal line stand. Of course, for a lot of these guys, it's just going to be a memory, but it's something.
Well, at least
it's something to think about.
There's Frazier with Hayward blocking. Stopped short. Fumble.
They called it down, Dick. He had hit the ground. He fumbled.
So it'll be second and goal. Raven Caldwell. Hey, Caldwell is slowly. I remember the first time Caldwell was involved in a special teams kickoff. He lost his helmet and still went on and made a tackle against the Steelers, and that's been his trademark ever since.
I remember, I think we did that game, John. And boy, he did. He went right there full tilt.
But he can't tell you what his name is.
Well, what?
Of course, I can't either.
Washington, number 1.
Redskins call a timeout now. They're first. We'll be back.
Every Monday night, it's everything you want to know about the big games, the big names, past legends, and future heroes. The Washington Post called it the best and said forget about the rest. Washington never watches the Skins without checking Playbook. Monday nights at 7:30.
The United States is a peaceful nation, and where our strength and determination are clear, our words need merely to convey conviction, not belligerence. If we are strong, our strength will speak for itself. If we are weak, words will be of no help.
These are Popeye's Cajun Battered Crawfish. They're nicey, spicy, not too pricey, and take it from me, everybody loves them. Good. Even Bob. Popeye's Cajun Battered Crawfish come on a platter with golden fries, fresh tossed salad, mixed fruit, and a big buttermilk biscuit, all for a great price. I love these. Bob loves them. You'll love them, but hurry. Popeye's Cajun Battered Crawfish are only here for a short time, and you're gonna love them. Take it from me.
And Bob.
And Bob.
I love these. When do you drink America's favorite German beer?
Oh, only when I go out. Or stay home.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Neil's cooking.
49 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Saints threatening to score. They have a second and goal at the 1-yard line.
I think it's interesting to note here that there's a lot of the Redskins. In fact, almost the whole team is up. They're very actively interested in this game. That shows me that that's a hungry team. They're out for a championship this year.
A lot different than that last game last year, wasn't it, John?
Very much so.
Saints have had it for over 7 minutes. Forcade with second and goal. And Hayward is in for the touchdown. is a little quicker, it seems. He's still kind of early, but he's got some quickness, has put the Saints on the board with 45 seconds to go in the third quarter.
It's just a straight-ahead power play. He takes the ball, and he just kind of slides across the top of his lineman. And I don't think that Ironhead goes to a proper British tea every afternoon.
I don't think so, does it?
No. He started 8 of the first 9 games in his rookie year, missed 5 of the last 7 with a sprained knee. Here's Morton Anderson with Winslow holding. And the kick is good. 16-7 to score. 80-yard drive. They chewed up 7 minutes and 14 seconds in 13 plays. And John Forcade, who attempted only 1 pass last year, played 1 game, engineered it all.
My brother's coming.
Great.
Nice car, but you have a stalling problem. Definitely valve deposits. That's stumbling, a related drivability problem.
Any suggestions?
Turn here.
New Chevron Supreme has 25% more Techroline.
Will this work?
Definitely.
No gasoline does more to help your car run its best.
So, Larry, what do you know about transmission?
Chevron, we're with you all the way.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
The time to roll out of your Toyota dealer with great deals is rolling to an end. So get shaking on a Toyota Corolla, the most trouble-free car in its class. Shake on the #1 selling import trucks for 10 years. Shake on factory incentives of up to $2,500. Time is running out on factory incentives on Camrys, Corollas, 4x4s, and more. So shake, rattle, and roll and save on Toyota quality now.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Toyota.
When the new One-Book Yellow Pages arrives, give it a try. It's a big improvement over C&P's books, and it's the only directory with talking Yellow Pages. Free numbers you can call anytime to get sports scores, horoscopes, soap opera updates, and more. It's very useful. As for this set of Yellow Pages, I'm sure you'll find a use for them, too.
Oh, perfect. The One Book. It's just like the old Yellow Pages, only better.
The difference in this game are 3 Chip Lohmiller field goals. 16-7 the score. Morton Anderson will kick it off, and the Redskins have Stephen Hobbs. There's Hobbs. He's on the left, and A.J. Johnson on the right. And again, we have to tell you that they know that Anderson kicks left to right, and they would like to see Johnson return a kick, if possible. They may get their wish. Johnson at the 2. Smothered just about the 15 by David Griggs. Now the crowd will try to cheer on the Saints defense. Stan Humphries comes out again, and Humphries already made the mark. Kudos with his end of first half 2-minute drill score.
Well, this is what they pay Ironhead for. He's basically a straight-ahead runner, although he has surprising speed for a fellow his size.
Yes, he does. And he's a good pass receiver. He's got good hands.
He's a good all-around player.
80-yard drive. Willard Reeves is the setback. McEwen is the H-back in motion, number 32. Humphries overthrows McEwen. Second down. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Stan Humphries in relief of Mark Rippon.
Yeah, well, Stan made a bad read here. If he'd have looked left, his receiver is open on a little hitch pattern, but he looked right. His man, there was rotated zone up on the left side. His left side was wide open.
Humphries is 7 of 12 for 74 yards. Rippon completed 10 passes for 159 in the first half. Second down and 10, and here comes a safety blitz. Humphries running for his life. Incomplete, the pass intended for Jimmy Johnson. And it was Benny Thompson.
Humphries made a great play there, really. He almost was sacked by the safety on the safety blitz. That I believe he's coming up the middle.
Red Maxey.
He avoids this tackle, and he outruns him in the defensive end, and still he throws across his body on the run. Not a bad little play.
No, it was a good athletic move by Humphrey.
Red Maxey and Frank Warren came storming in. It'll be third down and 10. this crowd is about as pepped up as they've been all day.
They've been all night. They started to wave. It just took a little score. They started to wave, and now they're getting into it.
Carl Harry in motion. Third down. Pressure on Humphrey. Going deep. Hobbs. Incomplete. Penalty flag is down. Is it? No.
No, that's just...
I wish they'd take those things off the field. Milton Mack with a good defense. Mack, you know, is battling Toy Cook for one of the cornerback spots.
They wouldn't want to do that, would they? To give the receivers penalty flags. It looked like that Hobbs dropped that one as he was going down.
Derek Shepard is back. Mosienko with a low kick. Goes over his head, and Shepard. Still going. No flags are down. Touchdown, Saints. Derek Shepard, the ex-Redskin.
I would say about 1 out of 10 times on a play like that where it's bobbled or the ball bounces over the receiver's head, it ends up in a touchdown. It draws the defense down long enough and lulls them halfway to sleep. They let up a little bit. This kid never gave up on it, and he made a great play out of what was potential disaster for the Saints.
And an official may have been knocked down. A 76-yard return, and he came very close to stepping out of bounds early on in the run. But he did not step out of bounds, and it's a touchdown for the Saints, who now trail by 3.
Well, this is a good replay. Let's see if he does step out of bounds. I thought he did back here, but obviously the referee was right there and saw it. The first man missed. When that first man misses, now everybody lets up. And this was a great run by Derek Shepard, but he didn't. What a run. What a run.
80 yards now, they say. 80 yards on the return.
It was really a very poor punt to begin with. It was a low line drive type of punt, although he got a great bounce on it.
Yeah, he got a good bounce. Sometimes that really messes up your coverage because they get scattered around, and then when you make 1 or 2 guys miss, then it's all over. And he just made a great run. They got this crowd back into it, didn't they?
Absolutely.
The back judge, Jim Carney, is the official who was shaken up. Jim Carney.
There was an ineligible lineman downfield.
Got hit in the nose.
On the kicking team on that play. That penalty is declined. Results in a touchdown.
Derek Shepard, who spent 7 weeks on injured reserve with a concussion last year for the Redskins. And a bloody nose for Greg Carney. Tip Carney, that is the back judge. So the Saints have scored 2 touchdowns in 45 seconds and have turned this yawner 16-0 into a ball game, 16-13, and this crowd's having a ball on Friday night, Bill.
Yeah, they sure have it. Maybe the booze has kicked in all of a sudden.
Well, it looks like Mr. Carney won a 3-round smoker with Mighty Joe Young. It's a TKO on the ref.
That was a fine run by Shepard. That really got them back in the game, which they needed. And you're right. It was a yawner, but now it's the end of the quarter. We got 15 minutes to go, and it's going to be a good football game.
Well, Derek Shepard trying to get a spot on the club, and the fans right now can only love Derek Shepard, but you got to credit the defense. They put a lot of pressure on. Here's Morton Anderson going for the 14th point with George Winslow holding, and the kick is good. It's 16-14. All of a sudden, the Saints are looking good, and Forcade started them off in this quarter.
They did with a real good drive, and it's going to be an interesting quarter.
Will you be doing the night of Sunday, September 17th?
You're looking at it.
Guess again, because Fox is taking you to the Emmys.
Huh?
All your favorite TV stars are invited to television's 50th anniversary party, and so are you.
You look great.
Join in an all-star salute to Hollywood's best. You'll have the time of your life at the 41st Annual Emmy Awards, Sunday, September 17th, only on Fox.
John Riggins, why did you switch from Ford to Chevy? Was it the low 2.9% financing on everything from Berettas to S10 Blazers? Or did you switch because you got $800 cash back on the new Geo Prism? Maybe it was the $500 cash back on your full-size pickup. Why did you switch?
Because today's Chevrolets are just plain better.
See your Washington area Chevy Geo dealer today.
I don't ask for much, do I? Little gas, little oil, an occasional tune-up. I mean, look at me. My plugs don't have that old spark. I'm hard to start. I hesitate. I hate that. Well, I've got the answer. Precision Tune. They'll diagnose my problem, tune me up, and guarantee it. So take me to Precision Tune. Whew. We better get going.
Free engine diagnosis through September 30th. Call ADS 1001 for your nearest location.
Tonight's Redskins preseason game is brought to you in part by Chevron and high-octane Chevron Supreme with Techroline. Chevron, we're with you all the way. And by your Washington area Toyota dealers, home of the incredible shrinking sticker prices. See your nearest Toyota dealer for big incentive savings and a great Toyota deal.
Back here at the Superdome, Morton Anderson will kick off. Willard Reeves back there on the left. Stephen Hobbs on the right. 16-14 as we start the fourth quarter. It'll be down there by Hobbs for a touchback. And the Redskins will bring it out to the 20. So the Saints defense obviously spurred on by that great drive engineered by John Forcade. 7 minutes and 14 seconds and 80 yards. That was one touchdown. And then seconds later, Derek Shepard returned the punt. Minutes later, 80 yards for the touchdown to make it 16-14. And this guy can decide it down by 2 points if the score is the way it is. Anderson's a good man to have at the end. Statistics show the Redskins still have the edge, although the Saints narrow the possession mark. They still have the total yardage edge by a mile. First down on the 20. Reeves.
Well, the Redskins need to put something together here, really, and move the ball, at least keep the ball for a little while. If they have to turn around and punt and 3 down, this crowd is really going to come back and get the momentum back behind the Saints again.
Well, this is a good situation for Stan Humphries, a young quarterback. Let's see how much leadership he has. He's got to make something happen like Forcade made happen with the Saints. Now, if he can turn this thing around, if he can get a little drive going, he's going to have to make the throw.
Stephen Hobbs are the wide receivers. Harry goes in motion. Humphries on 2nd and 9 will run and get upended. Mike Mays, a rookie from LSU, made the stop on Humphries. He went out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
This is really fortunate for the Redskins, actually, and of course it sounds kind of crazy because the Saints have closed the gap to 2 points, but as you were saying, Bill, Humphries is getting a chance, a real chance now in a real situation. If they stay ahead 16-0, there's really nothing out there for him, no intensity really. He's just really running out the clock and getting a little polish. It means a lot. It makes a lot more difference if there is some pressure added to the situation.
Second team offensive line with the exception of Jim Lachey. Up front for the Redskins on 3rd and 6, and down he goes. Stacey Harvey.
Man just came completely free up the middle. He just wasn't picked up, and I'm not sure right now. We can see a replay on this.
Well, they're doing a lot of stunning off that linebacker position there, and then somebody's not picking up their assignment. That wasn't Stan's fault. There's just a miss assignments in there.
Loss of 13 on the play. The Saints are without Vaughn Johnson, who did not suit up tonight. Harvey shaken up momentarily.
Well, I hope that wasn't an offensive lineman that's in jeopardy because Joe Bugle will be playing taps for him on Monday.
It could have been because they're doing a lot of stunting on that defense with linebackers in their front four, front three, and it's given this young offensive line a lot of problems right now.
Osienko will kick as Harvey gets help off the field. Will punt for the Redskins. Out of Arizona State is Harvey.
We're going to have another punt return here.
Derek Shepard is going to be back again. Here's Derek, returned the last one 80 yards just a little while ago. I'll tell you, the Saints with a long drive, getting the ball back in a hurry. Now they're getting it back in a hurry again.
But Wayne Severe is probably real upset with that coverage on the punt return.
Osienko kicking from the 2. That goes out of bounds, close to midfield. No return, but the Saints will have it in good field position with plenty of time, with just about 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter here at the Superdome. Redskins had 246 yards offense. First half, only 20 in this half.
Good afternoon, Dad. Keep your hands off the fender. Did you read Chevron Supreme has high octane and Tecroline?
Is that right?
Maybe I could go fill it up.
Just to the gas station.
For even better performance, new Chevron Supreme has 25% more Tecroline. No gasoline's better.
3 hours. Gee, Dad, you didn't want me to mix the old gas with the new gas, did you?
Chevron, we're with you all the way.
Rattle and roll. Get down to Toyota and shake your dealer's hand.
Is handshaking deal making on a great selection of Toyota Camrys. Factory incentives, extra value package of options make it the best time to deal on Camry. Family Circle's Family Car of the Year is now the deal of the year. It's year-end cleanup. Shake on a Toyota Camry deal and get quality without compromise.
Come on, shake, rattle and roll. Toyota.
We used to have a chair, and my father used to come up from work every night, and he used to sit in this one chair, and all the change from his pockets would empty out into the chair. We would all go flying for that chair, and we'd take all the change and say, we did it for years.
How many people ever broke their neck falling backwards in a chair, honestly?
broke their kids' necks leaning back? If you fall out of a tree and break your neck, I'm going to kill you. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
In or out, in or out. That was the big one. My mother used to say that all the time. You're going to stay in, you're going to come out. Because you're going to let the air conditioning out. Yeah.
Back here in New Orleans with the Redskins leading 16-14, but this game has turned dramatically from the start of the third quarter, John Riggins, when John Forquet came in.
Dick, I'll tell you what, I think the Redskins are starting to have a glaring problem here. Moshenko has only had one good punt, and I believe he's punted 4 times. I don't think Wayne Severe is feeling very comfortable with Monday night coming up that fast.
First down on the 47-yard line, and Frazier busts through off tackle and picks up 4 or 5 yards. Here's the defense in there now for the Redskins. They have number 97, Lybrand Robinson, at one in position. Mark Duckins, number 75, at the other, and Fred Stokes and Tracy Rocker at tackle. Brian Bonner, Don Graham, and Raymond Caldwell are in linebacker. In the secondary, Martin Mayhew and A.J. Johnson at the corners. Clarence Vaughn is the strong safety, and Barry Wilburn the free safety. Second down and 5. Forcade is going and very close to an interference call, only because Mayhew had turned his back on number 88, Floyd Turner. It'll be incomplete, third down and 5. So as you look at the Redskins defensively, only Raven Caldwell is in there from the group that started the ball game tonight. That's Dave Waymer getting the shoulder taped up. Waymer moved from cornerback to free safety this season.
Well, they're going to their nickel or dime defense right now, and they have brought in a lot of the regulars. I think Marshall's in there.
Darrell Green. And Davis. Third and 5 at the 48-yard line of the Redskins with over 13 minutes remaining in a 2-point Redskin lead. Forcade will run. He'll get the first down. Still going. Penalty flag is thrown as Wilburn knocks him out of bounds at the 20. 19 will mark it.
Well, it doesn't do any good to tell
is rocking.
Well, Fort Cage put the fuel back in him, and I told you, he can make a play. And he made a fine play there all by himself.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think the Redskins will have to wonder about their three-man line with Wilbur Marshall standing outside and rushing from the outside. They had their three-man line in right then. Everybody rushed upfield, and there was just a gaping hole up the middle.
Here's the hit by Wilbur, the extra push when the man was out of bounds. So it's half the distance, so a 29-yard run.
45 defense.
By Fort Cage.
Half the distance.
Hometown boy, they love it. He's born in New Orleans.
Well, this is a close call here, and look at Fort Cage. It's questionable because he looked like he was going to try to run over Wilburn. Wilburn looked like he was going to tap, and then he starts out of bounds. It was a funny call.
It looked like he moved into the white stuff, into the linebacker, into the out of bounds and got hit. Well,
that's right.
What are you going to do? First and goal at the 9.
He's a quarterback.
Surprised Billy feels that way. Saints threatening to take the lead. Flag is down. Frazier. I think we have an offense penalty on the offense. They might have had trouble with the snap count.
Illegal snap on the center. 5 yards. Illegal snap.
You know, Richie, on that play before, last one was third, and they threw in the nickel. Now, he brought in a lot of guys, the first stringers, had been sitting out the whole quarter. You could see Darrell Green trying to warm up. They're all cold, muscled, you know, and everything. And that's a tough situation. Well, I know why he did it, because he wanted to stop the pass and everything. But still in all, you know, when you come back into a situation and your muscles are tight and everything, it's tough.
And the bad thing is that, you know, it's in the fourth quarter. These guys have been on the sideline most of the second half. Now you're taking a chance on somebody coming up late.
First and 14 following the penalty. Frazier. And a bunch of Redskins, including Raven Caldwell and Don Graham, are in on the play. Still a lot of time to go. Jim Mora, who saw his team just totally out of it offensively, thanks to some good Redskin defensive play. Keep in mind, in the first half, have seen them come alive, and all you need is, shows you in this game, somebody to spark a team, and it gets contagious.
It sure does.
Second down and 12 after 12.
Called it momentum. Whole mode.
Frazier finds a hole. There's the speed. Touchdown.
Very well executed play. It's an outside play, and he strings it along until he sees the crease upfield and just gets into it and scores.
12-yard touchdown run by Frazier.
Well, the Saints string this out. Raven Caldwell gets blown outside, and they cut back. There wasn't much filling on defense right there.
I couldn't agree with you more, Bill. I think the Redskin defense has lost a little intensity, actually. There's a few guys back here. Tracy Rocker is not, he was out of position, but he still didn't look like he was really pursuing the play like maybe he could have.
Well, Don Graham didn't do a good job at middle linebacker. He got blocked.
21-16, Morton Anderson successful on the conversion. So here's a team that trailed 16-0 at the half, and they have scored 21 unanswered points on the Redskins, who now trail.
My brother's coming.
Great.
Nice car, but you have a stalling problem. Definitely valve deposits. That's stumbling, a related drivability problem.
Any suggestions?
Turn here.
New Chevron Supreme has 25% more Tecroline.
Will this work?
Definitely.
No gasoline does more to help your car run its best.
So, Larry, what do you know about transmission?
Chevron, we're with you all the way.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Get down to Toyota and shake your dealer's head.
It's year-end cleanup time at your Toyota dealer, and deals on trucks have never been better. Factory incentives up to $1,600 on trucks named #1 in customer satisfaction. Roll out with a 4x4 of the year. Factory incentives plus extra value option packages make it the best time to deal. You want quality without compromise? Shake in a new Toyota truck deal now.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Toyota.
Problem, Labor Day, what to do? Solution A, the beach. Exterior exposed to sun. Pain. H2O could block rays. Wet. Solution B, Circuit City's Labor Day weekend sale. Save on this VHS video recorder with cable-ready tuner. Now just $159.97. This Frigidaire 14 cubic foot no frost refrigerator is only $379.97. Conclusion, Circuit City's savings beat the beach.
Wayne, what's going on this kickoff now?
Yeah, we're going to run a left return again. Hope he gets one that we can return. We're going to kick 99 in and 92 in and try to kick 37 out. And everybody outside of 37, we're blocking them out.
That's Wayne Sevier, the special teams coach. You saw Willard Reeves, who's back there along with Stephen Hobbs, as Morton Anderson kicks off very deep. Will down it there just as he did the last time for a touchback. So Anderson doing his job with a smile. He's got a smile that a lot of people like.
That takes care of a lot of returns when you get a kicker that can kick back into that end zone or out of the end zone. That's a big weapon right there, and don't give a team a chance to return.
The Saints have scored 3 touchdowns in less than 3.5 minutes to come from 16-0 down to 21-16 up, still with a lot of time, by the way. 12-17 showing on the clock. So let's see if Stan Humphries can now bring a team back from a deficit. Harry and Hobbs are the wide receivers. Harry goes in motion. Up the middle, intended for Stephen Hobbs. Incomplete, and Toy Cook was defending on the play.
That was just good defense by the Saints. They were going step for step with all the Redskin receivers. And Humphries had plenty of time back there. There was just nobody to throw the ball to.
That's exactly right. He threw the only guy that had a little sliver of an opening, and it was good play by the Saints secondary.
You know, it's interesting. You see a lot of the second team in there for the Redskins, but who's ever in there, you know, Joe Gibbs does not want to end up this preseason on a losing note in this kind of a game.
Oh, yeah.
After being up by 16 points. 2nd down and 10. Pressure on Humphries, and McEwen out of the backfield. Short of a first down, however. Catch is made at the 26, had to get up to the 30-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down. Good pressure that time, as here it is.
Well, the Saints are doing a lot of stunts. This young offensive line's not picking up the stunts, like I said before. And boy, they're just he's going to get hurt if this continues.
Wayne Martin, the rookie from Arkansas, who figures to help the Saints in that department. You know, Bruce Clark and Tony Elliott, who were fixtures up front, no longer with the team. They moved Jim Wilkes from end to tackle, and they have high hopes for Wayne Martin. 3rd down, and call it 3. And the pass is caught by Jimmy Johnson, close to first down yardage.
I think he made it. That was a nice move by Jimmy. He caught the ball out in the flat, and then made a nice move on the linebacker and cut back in and got the first down.
The linebacker had position on him outside.
Yeah, Humphries is getting knocked down every play. This offensive line is getting in there the whole time. Now, that could have been a little rough in there.
Frank Warren that time. That's Toy Cook. Cook is shaken up. And also Harvey. He was injured before. Stacy Harvey. He's walking like Neil Lomax, you know, before he had to hang it up. That's how Lomax was walking around for a while.
Looks like he pulled a groin. I think he pulled it earlier, and he just redid it.
Looked like he's getting ready to draw on Matt Dillon, didn't he? Carrying that hog leg with him.
Yeah.
Well, this is more often the norm than not, it seems like. A team that's got the momentum of the game under control at halftime and they're up, they end up struggling in second half.
Joe Mickles in the lineup, and Mickles on the carry gets a hole and moves it up to the 35-yard line. Gain of about 5 on the play. On the first down play for the Redskins. 10.5 minutes to go. Pat Swopes on the stop.
I would anticipate another running play. They've been throwing the ball quite a bit. Humphries has been getting beat around a little bit back there. I'm sure Joe Gibbs realizes that. And maybe the Saints are really expecting the pass. So they've got a 2nd and 6 or a 2nd and 4. I think that they'll probably give the ball to Mickles again.
Second down and call it 6, closer to 5 actually. Mickles. And Mickles will have a first down for the Redskins.
Good call, John.
Sam Mills. Yep, they went off the weak side.
This is really, now the Redskins are getting back into the game plan that they would really, would like to do. They always want to run the football if they can. I think they were giving Stan Humphries a little chance. Mickles gets in behind his block. It's a good job there by the line. He just makes a great run out of this. He had some protection, but he also found a sliver of daylight in there, and he put his body second and got the first down.
Well, all these guys are fighting for jobs, and this will make or break them. This could make a team or not. This drive right here.
First down on the 42 of the Redskins. He trailed 21-16. Humphries with a good fake and open. Johnson out of bounds and another first down. Jimmy Johnson, who catches everything thrown his way. A 13-yard pickup into Saints territory to the 47-yard line. And a first down with 9:21 on the clock.
Well, I can tell you right now, this kid's going to be on the team, Jimmy Johnson. He's just done too many good things in the second half, plus the whole preseason. It's a little bootleg play here where they fake to the running back. Johnson makes a nice play, and then he makes a real nice run out of this thing.
You notice when he caught the ball, he had his head turned. He's got great hands. He's got good feel.
On the Saints 46, first down. Caught by Harry. Let's see where his forward progress is. Close to first down yardage. It was Milton Mack on the tackle. So Humphries is now 11 for 19 for over 100 yards. Rippon was 10 for 16 in the first half.
Boy, Stan just rips this ball in here. It was a nice little pattern here, but Stan makes this play. He just fires a bullet right into his gut here. That was a fine throw.
Humphries, did he get it again?
Yeah, he's getting it all the time. He's taking a little big time there.
Second down and 1 on the 37 of the Saints. Mickles, first down inside the 35. So this has been a very nifty series for the Redskins, who are under siege after leading 16-0 and then trailing 21-16, and the crowd reeling on the edge of its seats. All of a sudden, Stan Humphries has quieted the crowd with a great mix of plays and the first down on the 38-yard line of New Orleans.
Not only can a guy right now shine a fellow that might have been a little marginal and make this club, but a guy that they might have been thinking was on the team can also lose a spot on the team right now.
Under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Humphries in trouble. Gets it away anyway to Johnson.
In the grass.
And they called it in the grass. Huh?
Yeah, he called him down.
Boy, that was a very tough call, in my opinion.
It's a bad rule. I say it again, and I'll say it as long as they have that rule in here. It's a discriminatory rule because they're going to take a pocket passer and they're going to blow it quicker than they will a guy named Bubby Bristol. So it doesn't save a quarterback's health at all. They have more injured. It's a bad rule.
Benny Thompson got to him. Loss on the play of 5. Second down and 16. Loss was more than 5. Humphries going deep. He has his man wide open. Touchdown, Carl Harry. And he beat his man by 10 yards. 39-yard touchdown pass. Michael Mays left in the dust, and Carl Harry catches the touchdown pass to give the Redskins the lead once again.
I halfway expected to see Stan Humphries moonwalk over to the sideline. He was very excited about that, and rightfully so. Great play.
Well, we've got a nice hole here. I think it was a little stutter step move here. He kind of holds it, goes out. Good move by Harry. The defensive back completely fooled on the play. Good protection, and Stan puts it right on the money. That was a great play right there.
The leading receiver in the Western Athletic Conference last year caught 65 passes in his career at the University of Utah. And Chip Lohmiller will try to up the Redskin lead to 23-21. Bosienko is holding. The kick is good. And so Stan Humphries, with all of a sudden the Skins trailing, leads an 80-yard 10-play drive, and with 7:11 to go, it's a 2-point Washington lead.
Sunday, Labor Day with Al and Peg.
Oh, not another family barbecue.
Yes, a family barbecue.
Get ready for Bundy Burgers.
Let's cook.
It may be a holiday, but it's no picnic. On the season premiere of Married with Children, Sunday on Fox.
It starts here. A cool breeze blowing down from Canada. It's blowing smoother, blowing crisper. Molson. It's a breeze going down. It's the imported beer with a taste closer to home. A special feeling all around. Molson. It's a breeze going down.
You're familiar with the old routine at your bank?
You stick your right arm in, you stick your right arm out. You stick your right arm in and you shake it.
That's the one. Well, with our ATMs in Safeway, loans by phone, telephone banking, and free checking with direct deposit, you never have to line up at Perpetual. So either join us at Perpetual or stay right where you are. Perpetual, sensible banking.
You gotta play the Maryland Lottery's Lotto game to win this week's jackpot that has an estimated annuity value of $4 million for a single winner.
So now after the Saints scored 3 touchdowns in less than 3.5 minutes, Stan Humphries led them on an 80-yard drive capped with a beautiful picture pass to Carl Harry, 39 yards, to give the Redskins a 23-21 lead. And now Chip Lowmiller will be kicking off. Paul Frazier is the middleman back of a triumvirate of Saints at the goal line. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And let's see, it's going to be run out that time by Derek Shepard. Shepard hesitated, and he runs it out, and he's out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Look at the move by Harry. First going to the sideline and then downfield.
Well, he completely mesmerized the cornerback here, and Stan he gets away from the rush and lays it right on the money. Nice play.
And he really put a nice touch on the ball because he put just enough loft on it so it would, fall down and make it a much easier catch for the receiver than trying to rifle one to him.
Well, here we got another shot at it. Yeah, watch this little move. He completely mesmerized his corner. A lot had to do with Humphries back there.
First down on the 26-yard line. Frazier up the middle.
Obviously, that drive put 7 points on the board, but another thing that it did for the Redskins was it kept its defense off the field for a while, and they needed a little bit of break because they just kept it was 3 and out and 3 and out, and that'll wear your men down.
Do you think every game that they play here at the Superdome goes back and forth to try to, so they set up a Morton Henderson field goal, either win it or lose it at the end?
It looks like that.
It's happened so many times in this place. 6.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Redskins up 23-21. Frazier, nowhere. I'll tell you, some good linebacking play by Brian Bonner. Last 2 plays. Tracy Rocker also involved.
Yeah, Brian's, he's going for a job. They've got excess of linebackers, and there's going to have to be 1 or 2 might go. So Bonner's made some good plays the last couple plays.
3rd down and 6 for the Saints.
Well, I think the Saints feel like they want to try and run the ball as much as possible, get as much time off the clock as they can.
3 down lineman and Wilbur Marshall ready to rush the passer. There he is. You see him right there. Forcade is flushed out, in trouble. Fires, complete. Floyd Turner. And that'll be a first down. Great ad-libbing by John Forcade, and the Redskins put on a mighty rush on that play.
Well, here was they didn't contain Forcade. They got to contain him when they dog like this. And Tracy Rocker, and they just didn't let him outside here. They let him outside to make the play.
Stokes nearly got him.
They've got to contain him.
I think you made a good point there. I think Rocker's angle was bad.
Bowles and Bonner on the the stop. Again, Forcade running for his life. This time he doesn't get away. He's down. It is no fumble. He is down at the line. Back at the 20-yard line.
Well, that was questionable.
I agree with you, Bill. I think it was a fumble all the way. And I think he moved his hand forward to make it appear to be a pass.
Clarence Vaughn made the hit. Penalty will be against the Redskins.
It makes no difference now.
It'll be a first down.
Holding.
That's Fred Stokes, former Ram.
Holding, number 50, defense, 5 yards.
Raven Caldwell was holding on the play, and that'll give the Saints new life.
We're going to see the hold here on the right of your screen, number 50. He's got his hands all over him, and that's a no-no. Well, Raven's got to keep his hands on it. It's too bad because really that had anything to do with the play. You know, they've already sacked him.
Well, it was definitely a hold. They looked like they were going down the aisle. They were locked, elbow to elbow.
That's right.
So a first down and a big call because with just under 5 minutes to go, the Saints will have the ball. There's Caldwell, who's played a good game tonight for the Redskins. First down at the 43-yard line, their own 43. Paul Frazier is the one back. There's Frazier. Picks up 4 yards or so. Libran Robinson and Barry Wilburn on the stop. We've had a lot of spectacular plays in this one. The most spectacular was the punt return for a touchdown by former Redskin Derek Shepard, who saw a ball bounce over his head, grabbed it, skated down the sideline, and then was all off to the races. An 80-yard punt return run for a touchdown.
Gibbs is upset about something there, maybe the officials.
Second down and 5. Forcade. The Turner. Fumble. And the Redskins have recovered, I believe. Redskins ball. It was Fred Stokes who recovered the fumble. And making the hit was Martin Mayhew after Mayhew was beaten by Turner on the play. Floyd Turner.
Well, Mayhew almost intercepts this ball, but Forcade gets the ball in him. He gets away from him. He comes back. He doesn't quit on it, and knocks the ball right out of Turner's hands, and Stokes was right there. Good hustle.
I think that's a coaching point by Richie Pettibone here. All the defensive backs seem to swing their arms when they make that tackle. I noticed Brian Davis tried it last week. He missed the ball, but they're always going for that football.
First turnover by the Saints tonight. And with 3:50 on the clock, the Redskins with a 2-point lead in the ball, good field position on their own 43-yard line. Joe Mickles, maybe a yard, and that's all. And you know the Redskins will try to keep the ball on the ground. David Griggs making the stop.
Well, they'd like to keep it on the ground if they can, but they might have to throw it to make a first down. They need about a couple more first downs to run this clock out, and I don't know if they're going to do it running.
Well, a couple more first downs also will put them in field goal range for Lono.
Or at least a safe pass, maybe.
Yeah.
Second down and 9. There's the clock. Redskins have 2 timeouts. The Saints have all 3 of theirs. Here's Mickles again, and stopped from behind. And for the Saints, a fine defensive play by Dietrich Wise.
Well, we're not the only ones up here that know that the Redskins are trying to run a football.
No, that's right. The Saints know it. And they just called a timeout here.
So a timeout called by the Saints. We'll be back.
It was a big day when the new equipment arrived.
It's big. Biggest one I've ever seen.
Of course, being a custom job, some assembly was required.
It'll be a few weeks, people.
But finally, it was ready. One of the world's fastest check-writing systems. Some insurance companies look for ways to get your money from you faster.
I hear she'll do $12,000 an hour.
At Aetna, we look for ways to get your money to you faster.
Can you believe it? It's 0% days at Montgomery Ward. Buy now and there are no payments, no interest, and no billing until 1990. That's on furniture, electronics, appliances, tires, and fine jewelry.
All the brands you believe in, low prices every day, and we guarantee we'll match any store's advertised sale price with no payments and no interest until 1990. Believe it.
Montgomery Ward, the brand name savings store.
Buying 35mm film is never easy.
I'm confused.
It's all very simple.
There's 100
For inside and out.
unless it's too dark or too bright.
And then change to 400.
Or you could push it to 800.
If you don't mind the gray.
But it is faster.
Depending on the condition.
Well, then you use 1,000.
Of course.
Change to 400?
Introducing 35mm Polaroid One Film. With one film, you can get beautiful pictures in bright light, low light, inside and out. New 35mm One Film. For beautiful pictures, the choice is easy.
There's our time, 2:57 remaining. The Saints and the Redskins each with 2 times out remaining. Redskins with a 23-21 lead. They have the ball on their own 44-yard line. Jim Mora trying to squeeze out a come-from-behind victory. Thought he might have had it. Down by 16-0. Took a 21-16 lead before a big 80-yard drive. And now the Redskins, following a fumble, can ice it out. 3rd down and 9. Humphreys. Penalty marker down. Harry caught it, but out of bounds, and he was pushed there by Milton Mack. And let's see whether Mack had pushed him or the other way around.
Well, I'm not so sure he's out of bounds. That was a great catch by Harry, but the referee had already thrown the flag because the defensive back bumped him when he turned around. And he had his back to him, so that's pass interference.
Here's Bob McElwee.
Illegal contact. Number 24 defense. Penalty is declined.
He did catch it. He was in bounds. The penalties declined and a 1st down.
Yeah, it was a good catch. This was a great catch by Harry here. So he doesn't look like he has any idea where the ball is. Oh.
He was pushed, and then he caught it, and then, yeah, he was
in bounds all the way.
Yeah,
well,
17 yards.
They tried to get too smart there. If he'd have taken it on up, it was a touchdown. He made a double move there and fooled the defensive back, ran over and he did make a great catch.
Carl Harry with a 39-yard touchdown catch following a great move. 4th wide receiver spot is up for grabs with several candidates. 1st down on the 39 and Mickles. Just for a couple, and the tackle by Wayne Martin. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. And the Reds and the Saints have called a timeout now. That'll leave them with 1. Redskins still have a pair.
I think they need one more 1st down. They can run the clock out. And I don't even think they would have to need to kick a field goal if they can get one more 1st down.
Carl Harry has caught 4 passes for 69 yards, including a touchdown. That's about as good as any receiver has today for the Redskins.
He's looked very impressive. That was 2 fine catches he made there. And, you know, it's going to be tough out there, you know, trying to cut those receivers.
And the other thing is, as you mentioned many times, John, sometimes the coaches had already made up their minds, regardless of what happens.
That's true. And yet, when they see something, if a player makes a great play like Derek Shepard made for the Saints, then they have to reconsider, and it really makes it a tough job. But I'm not really sure how this works. You guys explain it to me. There's going to be a 47-man roster. Now, can they keep another 5 players?
6.
They can keep another 6
on a developmental
correct.
Squad.
So in other words, the guy might not be on the team, but he would at least be under contract.
But you can't no longer have a guy, get hurt and put him on a list, because then he's out.
He's out for the whole year. But this developmental league or squad, they're there, but they can't be brought in by any other team. If there's a good enough player like Carl Harry, he might be able to go to another team. He doesn't want to get tied up with the Redskins on the squad and wait for somebody to get hurt on the Redskins. He might be able to play right away for, Green Bay or somebody else. And sometimes a good player doesn't want to get tied up like that.
Well,
it's more for the younger guys. It's for the rookies, really.
Right. You have to wonder, though. I mean, if somebody's in that situation, as you said, they could go to Green Bay, but that might be the end of their career. They're on a winning team here. And the point is what versus what. He might eventually get a chance to play for the Redskins. They've got a winning tradition. You can go to some of these teams around the league that let's say, have less than a winning tradition. And I think that would be possibly a player's consideration, but maybe not.
Depends. Maybe Green Bay he'll get to play a lot.
That's the tick.
He won't with the Redskins, yeah. Second down and 8 at the 37 of the Saints. Good fake by Humphries. Got a lot of options. He'll run. And Humphries, good enough for the first down.
I believe so.
James Haynes on the stop. 2.5 minutes to go, and the clock is running. The Saints are down to 1 timeout remaining. And a big first down for the Redskins. Now they can take their time. Of course, they'll have the 2-minute warning coming up, but watching that 30-second clock.
Yeah, see, Stan here, they run this off the counter tray option, and he comes back here, and it's a bootleg type thing, and he makes the smart play. He takes the surest way to get a first down in this situation. It shows he has a lot of football sense. He does the right thing. He doesn't throw it up for grabs or try to get, an interception. He makes the right play here, and that shows me something.
Saints have called the timeout. They're out of them now. No timeouts left for New Orleans with 2:14 to go. They will get another stoppage at the 2-minute mark.
I think Stan Humphries was put into a difficult situation on Monday Night TV against the Minnesota Vikings. Number one, they're going against a playoff, possibly a Super Bowl caliber team. And he was a rookie last year, and now he has to start on live TV. And I can't help but think, and that puts an awful lot of pressure on a young quarterback. And this game right here, I think, is a good example of really what he can do when he goes in, and there's really not that much pressure on him, although some did develop as the game went along. But that's something you're already in a game. You've got the flow of it, and your natural athletic instincts, I think, come out then. You don't have time to think about it.
Well, he did this in the Steeler game. Remember, he came in the second half, and, he brought him back and won the game. He did a good job, and he shows a lot of awareness on the field. That's what I like. And Mark does, too. Mark has a lot of awareness.
Redskins are already in field goal range. 3 points would put them up by 5, which means the Saints would need a touchdown. First down on the 27 of New Orleans. Nichols. Loss on the play of a yard. That was Benny Thompson with help from Walter Johnson.
As a runner, I think
2-minute drill, 2-minute time. Yep.
That Joe Nichols, he should see those black jerseys hanging there on the outside, and you're not going to get any more yards out there, so he should cut the ball back up.
2-minute warning is upon us. We'll be back with the Skins up by 2.
They have come to Earth to live among us, but some don't want them here. The year is 1995, and America's melting pot is about to explode. Alien Nation, the series, coming in September.
The Phantom of the Opera. The original London stage musical by Ken Hill has arrived. Variety called it a theatrical extravaganza. The Phantom. The Financial Times of London called it loads of fun. The Phantom. At the Warner Theatre, Washington, D.C. for 2 weeks only, August 29th through September 10th. Tickets on sale now at the Warner box office, Ticketron outlets, Ticket Center locations, or call 1-800-543-3041. Phantom.
Can you believe it? It's 0% days at Montgomery Ward. Buy now and there are no payments, no interest, and no billing until 1990. That's on furniture, electronics, appliances, tires, and fine jewelry. All the brands you believe in, low prices every day, and we guarantee we'll match any store's advertised sale price with no payments and no interest until 1990. Believe it.
Montgomery Ward, the brand name savings store.
Think big, win big. This week, the D.C. Lottery's Lotto America jackpot has an estimated annuity value of $24 million.
23-21, the Redskins trying to nail down the victory here, and right now they're in good shape because there are 2 minutes to go. They have the ball on the Saints 28, well within Chip Lowmiller's range. They have a second down and 11, but New Orleans is all out of timeout, so the Redskins can take their sweet time and see what Humphries does here. Carl Harry in motion. He's had a glorious fourth quarter. Nichols on the ground. Gets it inside the 25, and they'll use up a lot of the clock here. It'll be third down and about 7 or so. They're in no hurry.
This will be an interesting call. I would imagine they might still run the ball and run the clock out. I mean, that would be the natural thing.
With the Saints having no timeout, I would have to think the same thing.
But I don't know if they can run the clock all the way out. They might give Lohmiller a chance to kick a field goal. I'm not sure what he'll do.
They have 15 seconds on the 30-second clock. And I don't think Humphreys will be in any rush with 9. He can see it.
There won't be much left on it when the Saints get the ball back.
3rd down and 7. Here's Mickles. Tripped up. Mickles gets around, and second effort almost made it. A penalty marker is down, however. That may be holding against the Redskins. We'll wait and see, though, officially, with 1:06 on the clock. It is holding against the Redskins. And, you know, Mickles came, well, it was holding anyway, but came within a yard or so of getting those sticks. And now Joe Gibbs is really upset over that penalty.
He's been upset at the referees for the last half for some reason, and I'm not sure why.
Bob McElwee will give us the story.
Holding, 69 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Mark Schlereth.
They took the down instead of, because it wasn't a first down, so they're going to force them to kick a field goal. Now, you know what? If the Saints block it, you know, they could run it back. There's a lot of things could happen.
They were in field goal range anyway, right? Even with the penalty, and they would have had an extra down.
Well, they had an extra down, so they'd rather try to get the ball back. Maybe he'll miss it. There's a lot of things.
Well, Chip Lohmiller has kicked 3 field goals. Longest one was from 45 yards out. This one will be a 36-yard attempt with Mosienko holding. And the kick is good. Big night for Chip Lohmiller. 4 field goals. And the Redskins now lead 26-21. So instead of Morton Anderson having a chance to win it with his magic toe, now the Saints, with 1 minute and 2 seconds left and no timeouts left, have to score a touchdown. And as we wind down on the preseason of '89, I want to thank some people. A fine job once again by our producer, Ernie Bauer. Also our director, Dave Lewis, our engineer in charge. Mark Partner, the replay director. Paul Farnsworth, our associate producer. Monty Hatcher and the rest of the group that did such a fine job. And
they always do a fine job.
Those guys have won some Emmys with this coverage of Redskin preseason football. And I'll tell you what, having Wayne Sevier mic'd for our Pittsburgh game, and also we heard some of them this time in this game blaze new trails, as we said last time.
Man, Marty Aronoff spotting very well for us up here.
Yep.
Huh?
He hasn't lost his touch. As good as ever.
Dick, you said something about Emmys. What do you think, huh? I got a shot?
John, if you don't win a national Emmy, you should win a local Emmy.
Thank
you know what? In Washington, that's all that matters. If you win a local Emmy.
I'm going to go out for it tonight and see if I can bag one.
I just want to know if you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed having you up here.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And you, Billy?
I always enjoy it.
It's great to see you, and you did a fine job, too. Returned by Darryl Colbert with under a minute to go. Chris Mandeville makes the tackle, and of course you knew you'd want to hear the name Mandeville here because there's a town named Mandeville here in outside of Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah, there's a mental hospital over there, and they said I should have gone there sometime.
Billy,
I noticed nobody disagreeing with you, Bill.
There's a lot of these fans said I should have been over there.
They'd have been happy to drive you. Over the bridge, you'd have never made it, Bill.
26-21. First down for the Saints. They need a touchdown. They have no timeouts remaining. They're on their own 15. John Forcade up the middle, completes the pass to Shepard. Stop made by Brian Davis. I'll tell you one thing. Forcade really gave this team a boost in the second half.
He's done a fine job. They have a quarterback controversy here in New Orleans, like the old days.
Yes, they do. Miss Bobble, and Forcade still on his feet, throws it incomplete. I think they said he was down at the line. 29 seconds to go. There's Bobby Hebert, and I still think Hebert is going to be the opener next week.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he will, but he better play a lot better, or boy, it's going to be a rough year for the Saints if he doesn't play. They need him to play well.
4 wide receivers with 25 seconds to go. Tracy Rocker says, I might have played at Auburn, but I think I know what goes in this game. And I think he's still talking about the fact that he felt...
He's trying to get some seconds back on the game. He had called time, you know, when Forcade got sacked, and they put about four seconds
They just
off.
put 9 minutes, actually 29 minutes up. Crowd would like that. You know, it's interesting that the noise factor, which was such a big controversy on Monday night, never came to be in this one.
No, it never was. It never got started. Almost, you know, Forcade started them going, but never really got them rocking.
Forcade motioning his receivers to go downfield. Lonzel Hill, the intended receiver. And it's Martin Mayhew on the play. So was it...
No, I'm sorry, Dick. I was just going to say, like I always said, Friday nights in New Orleans was never a real big night, you know, kind of family night. It was the weekends when they get rocking and rolling.
You mean, thank God it wasn't Saturday?
That's right, or Sunday.
We're leaving town in time.
Well, this game turned out to be interesting. I mean, the Redskins, solid defense, ripping with a good first half, 16-0. And then the Saints scored 3 touchdowns in less than 3.5 minutes before Stan Humphries. That pass is caught, but they got no timeouts left. Colbert on the reception. Humphries with the big 80-yard drive and a 39-yard pass to Carl Harry to wrap it up. And the time's going to run out in a 26-21 game. They stop it in 2 seconds, and now the last play is coming up.
Well, John, you agree with me. I think this was a good victory for the Redskins. Like you said earlier, Joe Gibbs played a lot of second-teamers and reserve guys in the second half, but he doesn't want to go out of this game without a win. And I think this shows something about the squad, that they're ready to play. They got a lot of enthusiasm throughout the squad, and it's a good victory for them. It really is.
Yeah, I think that's very well put, Bill. And the good thing about it, too, is they didn't lollygag through the second half. At least the Saints got back in the game and gave the Redskins a chance yet to go ahead one more time with a victory. Absolutely.
Forcade. No time remaining. Redskins have to watch out, not interfere. Knocked away, and the game is over, and the Redskins win it 26-21. And with the victory, the Redskins finish with a 4-1 preseason record going into the opener a week from Monday at RFK Stadium against the Giants, while the Saints will open here a week from Sunday with the Dallas Cowboys. And Joe Gibbs and Jim Mora hope to see each other perhaps in the playoffs after this season. So the Redskins come from behind after squandering a solid lead, but they win on the road against a team that's looking to get into the playoffs after missing last year. And it remains to be seen how they do. 26-21 the final score. Right now, let's go down to the field and Steve Buckhant. Steve?
Okay, Dick, I've got Stan Humphries, Redskin quarterback, who played all of the second half. You endured a couple of good drives. You got some great receptions from your receivers, and you took a lot of shots on the ground. How you feeling, and how you feel about the victory?
Well, I feel pretty good. You know, there's some things that we got to work out before next week's opener. But, you know, you got to take the licks out there, but you got to get the ball off, and you got to make some plays. And I think the receivers made some great catches tonight. We just got to look at the film and see what we did wrong some.
How do you feel, and how do you think this team feels? The preseason is over. You're going up against the Giants a week from Monday, and it counts.
Yeah, I think everybody's ready. You know, everybody wanted to get this in and do the best they could, but I think everybody's been looking for the Giants to come to RFK on Monday night. I think it's going to be real exciting.
The other thing, Stan, is that this team is going to have to make some very tough decisions, not only at the wide receivers, but at running back. You have a plethora of terrific running backs.
Yeah, we got some great athletes at running back, and, you know, it's just a thing where maybe some running backs are going to have to play some special teams or something to make this ball club. So, you know, they'll work that out, and, you know, we'll come out all right.
All right, thanks for stopping by. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Redskin quarterback Stan Humphries. So the Redskins win this ball game 26-21 with a great comeback and some terrific catches, as Stan said, by some of the receivers. So lots of decisions, very tough ones to be made by Monday afternoon as the Redskins have to cut down to 47 players. Well, some of you will be rejoining us back here at the Superdome for live locker room interviews. For the rest of you, thanks for watching. For Billy Kilmer, John Riggins, Dick Stockton, this is Steve Buckhant saying so long from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Once again, the Redskins victorious over the Saints, 26-21. So long, everybody.
Tonight's Redskins preseason game has been brought to you in part by your Roy Rogers Family Restaurants, by your Washington area Ford dealers, home of the best-selling, best-built cars in America, by your Washington Midas dealer. Nobody beats Midas, nobody. And by Chevron and high-octane Chevron Supreme with Techroline. Chevron, we're with you all the way.
Problem, Labor Day, what to do? Solution A, the beach, exterior exposed to sun, pain, H2O could block rays, wet. Solution B, Circuit City's Labor Day weekend sale. Save on this VHS video recorder with cable-ready tuner, now just $159.97. This Frigidaire 14 cubic foot no frost refrigerator is only $379.97. Conclusion, Circuit City's savings beat the beach.
It's your Washington area Buick dealers' yearly over-under clearance sale. Yes, this sale's for YOU. Your Buick dealer is overloaded with 1989 models and under the gun to make room for the 1990s. With cash back and factory-to-dealer incentives up to $3,000 on select models, you can drive home a great deal on a Buick. But don't put YOU under the gun and wait till it's over. During your Washington area Buick dealers' yearly over-under clearance sale, we can put you in a Buick for less.
If it's sports, you'll see it on the 10 o'clock news.
Got Lohmiller.
Channel 5 Television Sports presents live from New Orleans, the Redskins post-game show. Now here's Steve Buckhantz and Nathan Roberts.
All right, the Redskins victorious 26-21 over the New Orleans Saints, live from the Superdome. Steve Buckhantz with you. And before we toss it back to Washington and Nathan Roberts, Redskin place kicker Chip Lohmiller has joined us. You had, 4 field goals tonight. You hit the ball well. I tell you, as I looked at things, I don't think the snaps and the holds were perfect. Of course, you're working with Mozienko, and he's a left-handed holder to begin with. So I think there needs to be some polish there, but you certainly held up your end of the bargain.
Yeah, Ralph did a good job. You know, we only practiced one time last week with him, and he did a good job. He didn't know who the snapper was. He doesn't know what the style. I know Bostic's a good, slow snapper, and then you got Harbour who's a fast snapper. And he did a great job on that 45-yarder. He got up there, the ball was high, and he got it down there for me. And you know, we got to figure out who's going to be snapping now, and I think everything will be working out.
How difficult is it to keep your concentration on a play like that? Again, very high snap. He took his hand away from the front of the ball after he turned the spiral a split second before you made contact.
Yeah, you got to have all the confidence in the world in your holder. You know, if I didn't have confidence in him, I probably would have slowed down a little bit and hesitated, and then I probably wouldn't have kicked the ball as well as I did. And you just have to have confidence in him and go in there and kick the ball.
He's also a left-handed holder. How difficult and how much difference does that make?
Yeah, like Mark had to learn to hold with his left hand. Everybody, you know, wants to hold with the right hand if they're right-handed, but he's left-handed, and that helps him out in that aspect also.
What about your kickoffs? How do you think that fared compared to last week against Miami when it wasn't real pretty?
Much better this week. However, I still didn't kick it as well as I wanted to, but I think our kickoff coverage needs a little bit of work, and we need to get a team in there that's going to go down there and crush some people.
Derek Shepard sure turned one in against his old teammates. You like kicking on AstroTurf, don't you?
Oh, yeah, it's nice, but I also like RFK.
Okay. Chip Lohmiller, thank you. 4 field goals, 12 points. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Chip Lohmiller, the Washington Redskins. The Redskins win it, as we said, 21-26. And now let's go back to WTTG for an update on what else is happening in the world of sports with Nathan Roberts. Nate?
Thanks very much, Buck. And, of course, the story that is dominating sports, baseball commissioner Bart Giamatti has died of a heart attack at the age of 51. Giamatti was discovered in his vacation home on Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts this afternoon in full cardiac arrest. He was rushed to Martha's Vineyard Hospital, where he died at 4:32 p.m. after doctors had tried for more than an hour to revive him. Giamatti had been baseball commissioner for just 5 months, succeeding Peter Uberoff on April 1st. The former president of Yale University had been president of baseball's National League for 2 years before he was named the new commissioner. Now, of course, his tenure was dominated by the Pete Rose case, and in fact, it was only last week when, after months of investigation and evaluation, Giamatti finally reached an agreement with Rose, baseball's all-time hit leader, an agreement that banished Rose from the game for life because of his gambling activities.
Giamatti was a chain smoker who once called smoking his only vice. Among those reacting to his death today was President George Bush.
Pay my respects. He was a great person. He loved the game of baseball, and in a short time made a real contribution to the game.
Bart Giamatti was a Renaissance man. He was a true love. He had a true love for baseball. You know, to be the president of Yale University and to be a man of letters and writing as he was and as brilliant as Bart was, the #1 love in his life, other than his family and his religion, was strictly baseball.
You knew he loved baseball. That just oozed out of his pores. All he had to do was talk. He could talk about all the great stars. Ted Williams was a big favorite of his. It's a shame he didn't have more time as commissioner of baseball.
Now, the Baltimore Orioles owners, including Giamatti's former classmate at Yale, Eli Jacobs, said in a statement tonight that the death is like the loss of a family member. They also added that baseball fans have lost a great advocate and friend. Pete Rose was not available for comment, but his lawyer said that Rose continued to have a great personal respect for Giamatti despite their differences, and that Rose's thoughts tonight are with Giamatti's family. For now, Giamatti's duties will be assumed by an executive council consisting of the 2 league presidents, the National and American League, as well as 8 owners. An interim commissioner, probably Deputy Commissioner Francis Fay Vincent, will be named soon. That's the story dominating the sports headlines tonight. A little bit later, back with more on the Orioles and a lot more. But right now, let's go back to New Orleans and Steve Buckhantz.
All right, Nathan, thank you very much. The Redskins victorious 26-21. Joe Gibbs is standing by just off the field. He'll join us momentarily and will, in fact, be here when we return to New Orleans right after this message. Stay tuned.
Brought to you in part by your Washington area Pizza Hut restaurant, home of America's favorite pan pizza. Pizza Hut, where they're always making it great.
This is a recipe for love. New Cheese Lovers Plus. Blend an abundance of 3 alluring cheeses. Add 2 irresistible toppings, your choice. And what you get is 1 provocative pizza. Get all this love for only $8.99. Or get twice the affection for just $4 more. New Cheese Lovers Plus from Pizza Hut. The name says it all.
The time to roll out of your Toyota dealer with great deals is rolling to an end. So get shaking on a Toyota Corolla, the most trouble-free car in its class. Shake on the #1 selling import trucks for 10 years. Shake on factory incentives of up to $2,500. Time is running out on factory incentives on Camrys, Corollas, 4x4s, and more. So shake, rattle, and roll and save on Toyota quality now.
Shake, rattle, and roll, Toyota.
It's the Rosendorf-Evans annual Labor Day Hotel Fur Sale, this Monday only at the Mayflower Hotel. Just 8 hours to choose from our breathtaking $5 million fur collection, priced at 30 to 70% savings. The Rosendorf-Evans annual Labor Day Fur Sale at the Mayflower Hotel. Save 30 to 70% on luxurious Rosendorf-Evans furs. So many furs, so little time.
These are 10-year unlimited mileage protection plans, a $1,000 value, and we give this benefit to every customer who buys a new car or truck from a Fitzgerald automotive dealer. Plus, in writing, we give you a loaner car at no charge whenever you need service. It's our way of providing extra value on top of our extra low prices. At Colonial Dodge, Shulman Buick, Wheaton Dodge, Lake Forest Chrysler Plymouth, Lake Forest Oldsmobile, Fitzgerald's Watkins Burnett Dodge, and Fitzgerald Toyota.
We continue live from the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Redskins are victorious in their 4th preseason game of the year. They go out with a record of 4-1 and win it 26-21. Steve Buckhantz now joined by Howard tight end Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy, I know there are 1 million fans in Washington rooting for you right now. And if you were to get cut from this football team, there'd be 1 million disappointed fans, because you have basically done everything you can do to make this team, and I know you probably feel that way.
Yes, I do. I think I had a pretty good training camp, mini camp. Summer camp, all the camps that we went through, I thought I did pretty well, and I took advantage of all the chances that I had. So even though the final decision is up to the coaches, but I feel good with what I've done thus far.
The thing that they said you needed to work on coming out of college was, of course, what the H-backs and the tight ends with the Redskins do more than receive, and that's block for the ball carriers and the other receivers. How do you feel you've improved or done in that department?
Well, I think I improved a great deal. Tonight, if anyone noticed, I wasn't playing H-back. I was playing tight end. So that consists of a great deal of blocking, a little more blocking than H-back. So I feel good. I didn't allow any sacks, and I did pretty good on the run blocking. So that's all I can do is just keep working hard.
What do you think about when the ball is traveling towards you? Because I don't recall you dropping any footballs this preseason and even in the scrimmages. I mean, you've got some terrific hands.
I usually don't think about anything. That's pretty much natural. When the ball comes, I just reach out there and grab it. I don't have any formula or key to why I'm always catching the ball. That's natural. I've always been able to catch the football.
You know that when it comes to the cut-down date, which is Monday, and they have to drop 13 players to get to 47, that whether or not you're good enough to make this team may not make any difference. It may come down to a numbers thing where they just may not have room for you, and that would have to be extremely disappointing, especially if you know you've got the talent to play.
Yes, I've thought about all those avenues, and I just can leave it to the man upstairs. Now I've done everything that I could possibly do, and by any means that they do let me go, hopefully I get picked up somewhere else. But I'm trying not to think about that. Hopefully I'll be here.
Well, look, you've made a lot of people in Washington very proud, and you've done yourself and your family proud, and you've had some exciting receptions in the preseason. We certainly hope you make the team. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jimmy Johnson from Howard University. The Redskins win at 26-21. We will continue here from the Superdome in New Orleans. But first, let's go back to Nathan Roberts at WTTG for more sports. Nate?
All right, thanks, Buck. And I'll second your motion about Jimmy making the team. He is quite a guy. Let's hope that he does hang around and doesn't come back to haunt the Redskins from some other team. We turn to baseball. The Orioles entered action tonight in Chicago in a tie for first place with Toronto, but it looks like they will no longer be in that tie because they are about to fall a game behind. They are losing 10-1 in the 8th. Defensive play of the game. First inning, Phil Bradley to Ozzie Guillen. He gets over, makes the outstanding play to throw Bradley out. Prize draft choice Ben McDonald getting his arm warmed up in the bullpen tonight. Didn't see any action in the game, though. In the bottom of the first, White Sox would get all they would need. Bases loaded. Darrell Boston crushes the Bob Malacky pitch high into the night air. 4 runs come in. Comiskey Park goes a little crazy. Move to the 4th now. Orioles scoring their first run. Randy Milligan sending the ball and most of his bat as well up the middle. Sox pitcher Eric King avoids the bat. Mike Devereaux in to score. 4-1 Sox. And currently the White Sox are leading 10-1. That's in the 8th. And the Orioles in danger of falling out of first because in Toronto, the Blue Jays got a 7-3 win over Tom Kelly's Twins. Bottom of the 2nd, the Jays get on top. Kelly Gruber with a solo blast to left. 1-0 Toronto. Move now to the 4th. The game is tied at 2. Toronto bases loaded, and rookie Glenn Allen Hill with his first Major League home run. That's a clutch grand slam. 6-2 Toronto. They win it 7-3 to move into first in the AL East. And let's look at the American League scoreboard showing that Baltimore score in the 8th. Doesn't look good. New York 11-5 over California. Seattle downs Boston 7-2 in 12 innings. Detroit 2-1 over Cleveland. Toronto with that 7-3 win. Will they ever lose again? Toronto beating Minnesota 7-3. Oakland and Milwaukee tied up at 4 apiece in the 6th. And Kansas City losing to Texas 3-2 in the 7th. And we're going to head right back to New Orleans and Steve Buckhantz again. Buck?
Okay, Nate, I've got Redskin head coach Joe Gibbs here. And, you know, this was probably the longest preseason that the Redskins have had. And yet, in the mere snap of a thumb, it's over. It's amazing that 5 games have passed so quickly, but now you're looking at the Giants a week from Monday. How do you feel about this team starting the thing open?
Well, I don't think everybody asked me that. I don't think you know. I felt like that we played hard in preseason. We made a lot of mistakes. I don't think you ever know. People ask me, are you pleased? No, I'm not pleased. I'm not sure where we are. We got to get out and start playing regular season. If you left it up to the coaches, we'd probably go 16 games preseason, you know, to get ready.
Yeah.
But we can't do that.
It looked like there's a lot of inconsistency. One series you'll play well, one series you'll make a mistake, and that kind of inconsistency is not a good way to start.
No, and I think that is kind of what happened in this game. It was kind of I felt like we had things going there early, but we made enough mistakes to stop ourselves. We go into a big lull, you know, after having the lead, and they turn around and storm back, and you don't like to see that fluctuation like that. You like to see a nice solid performance. We didn't get that. But we're going to have to live with it.
Every year we talk about how tough decisions are to be made on the final cut, which will be Monday, and 13 players have to go. But in two groups that stand out to me, receivers or H-backs and tight ends and running backs, you've got some terrific guys, Joe. I don't know how you're going to make those decisions, especially at running back. Every guy you have on the team can play.
I think that that is true. I think it's a shame, really, that it comes down to that. It'd be great if we have 55 players and we could keep those guys, but we can't. And I tell you, what you got to do at this point is to take the guy as a total package. You know, what kind of person he is, how smart is he, how tough, what kind of a worker in the off season, and a blocker. You got to take all those things, put it all together, and then try and pick him. And that's the most important job for a coach. It's my most important job is to pick the right football players, and we're going to do it irregardless of how much money he makes, what round he was taken in. We've always kind of done that. We're going to stick to that. I got a owner that will let me do that, and most places they might be, hey, you got to pay attention to money and stuff like that. And but here we're just going to do it on who's the most competitive guy and who can help our team the best.
I look at a Jamie Morris, I look at a Joe Mickles, who had another good games, and I look at a Willard Reeves, who scored one of the touchdowns. We can take a look at it. They all look good.
Well, I think that Willard is a very strong runner. You see him here. This is a forceful run. He's a slasher, and I think he is, well, he's had a big history in Canada. I know that he can play. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, it's tough that it's coming down to. We are very competitive at that spot, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
How do you feel about Mickles? He looked good tonight, too.
I think Joe Mickles is a young guy that has a tremendous, he's at a tremendous camp. You know, there comes a time for a guy, never miss a play, lines up every down, pass, catch, block, play special teams, and got a great heart, it seems like. And I tell you, it doesn't say a word, but, and you love to see that. And a guy like that is tough to let off your football team.
Kelvin Bryant's situation is disappointing, but you have got to be tickled to death to have Ernest Biner on this football team. He does so much.
Ernest Biner is, for a coach, is a fantastic guy. I think he run the other team's plays. He just loves playing pass catch. Doesn't say anything about starting an ego. I've never seen any of that in him. It's just all, hey, line me up. What do you want me to do? And loves to play. And he's one of those guys with tremendous pride. Doesn't want to be told he made a mistake. He'll get it before you do. You know what I mean? Don't correct me. I know I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
A coach on the field.
Yeah, that's what he is.
What'd you think when Derek Shepard ran that punt back 80 yards?
Well, I tell you, we know he can do it. Yeah. He's done it for us. Got a great heart, and I think he made the team tonight at our expense, and taught us a big lesson there. When that ball starts bouncing around back there, you cannot relax. I thought he made a heck of a play here. He actually kicked that. I thought we might have a chance to get it, and we probably set a record here for
missed tackles.
Missed tackles, yeah. Every kind. And this is a big lesson to us right here. I think the guy is definitely a tough guy, and I know that they were probably searching for their return guy, and I think they probably found it.
They probably found him, and what's your situation with return guys? How do you feel about Joe Howard and the other fellows you have?
Well, as you know, we don't like laying the ball on the ground. We did that. We turned it over in the first quarter there about 3 times, and that's not us, and we don't want to do that. So, you know, we got to get that straightened out. But I think Joe made a big run for us last week like that, and so we feel comfortable with him, really.
Finally, your receivers. You're going to have another tough choice at who you keep. Hobbs looked good. Carl Harry looks great. He's made some terrific catches. He made one tonight.
He's made big catches, and he has been a guy that it makes kind of clutch plays. This pump right here was a heck of a play. I thought Stan was going to wait too long to get the ball back up. He finally got it up here to him, but he was running around on pass protection, and heck of a play there by Carl. He's made big plays from the very first day in scrimmage, and it's going to be very tough making that decision at receiver.
Well, I know you got some tough choices, and I also know you'll be there at 9 o'clock Monday night when the Skins take on the Giants.
Well, I hope I'm going to show up. I told him, I says, today, I says, before we played this game, I says, we got to play one more without all of us getting sick on the sidelines. So right. I'll be one of the ones getting sick. So, but Monday night will be a big night for us. So.
It sure will. All right, good luck, Joe. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Joe Gibbs, head coach of the Redskins. The Redskins victorious 26-21, and we will continue from the Superdome in New Orleans after these words. Stay tuned.
John Riggins, why did you switch from Ford to Chevy? Was it the low 2.9% financing on everything from Camaros to Cavaliers? I'll bet it was the $1,000 cash back on Corsica that made you switch. Maybe it was the $500 cash back on your full-size pickup. Why did you switch?
because today's Chevrolets are just plain better.
See your Washington area Chevy Geo dealers today.
Problem, Labor Day, what to do? Solution A, the beach, exterior exposed to sun, pain, H2O could block rays, wet. Solution B, Circuit City's Labor Day weekend sale. Save on this VHS video recorder with cable-ready tuner, now just $159.97. This Frigidaire 14 cubic foot no frost refrigerator is only $379.97. Conclusion, Circuit City's savings beat the beach.
Now at Roy Rogers, buy a 12, 16, or 20-piece order of hot, delicious fried chicken and get a free 6-pack of Coca-Cola Classic.
Nissan dealers are still running the Nissan Marathon, and lucky for you, they haven't run out of gas. They're still passing along up to $1,500 in dealer cash incentives on Sentra, and up to $2,000 on every Nissan hard-body truck. There are plenty of great deals left on the Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S., and the incredible 240SX. But see your Nissan dealer today, because on September 5th, you'll be out of the running. The Nissan Marathon, the best event we've ever run.
Express mail from your post office offers guaranteed morning delivery for just $8.75.
We deliver for you.
Redskins a winner, 26-21. Steve Buckhantz along with Dexter Manley, Redskins defensive end. You said that you don't get quite as psyched up for preseason as you do for the regular season, but I think you may have tried to turn it up a little bit, knowing this was the last one.
Well, no. Well, I felt like the last 2 or 3 weeks I've turned it up a little bit, but I still don't like preseason because I think the games are meaningless, and also that I think the owners reap the benefits more than their players. These games only cost $500. That's what we get, and I'm not real fond of the preseason.
Well, you've got the regular season coming up a week from Monday against the Giants. I dare say you won't have any problem getting psyched up for that, will you?
No, that's a division game, and I think the Giants now have become one of the big rivals in the Washington, D.C. area, and I like to say don't forget to steal root on 3rd downs and 2nd downs. We must have that.
Okay, we'll do that. Now, let me ask you about your status. Of course, we've been reading in the paper and hearing through the grapevine that maybe you won't play as much or maybe you won't start. What's your position?
Well, I'm going to tell you this here right here on Channel 5 is that I feel like that, I've always played to run. And like I said earlier, I take gambles, and sometimes, they might catch me on the draft, on the draw or trap. But if I couldn't play the run here, then I'm not going to play in Washington, D.C.
But you think you'll be starting for the most part?
Oh, I think no question. Why shouldn't I be?
Yeah. Okay, good luck, and we'll see you on Monday night.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Dexter Manley of the Redskins, and that's going to do it from New Orleans. But Nathan Roberts will be back in just a few minutes with the rest of the day in sports. Steve Buckhantz for Dick Stockton, John Riggins, and Billy Kilmer saying so long from the Superdome. Once again, the final score, the Redskins 26 and the Saints 21. Nathan Roberts will be back right after this word. Stay tuned.
The all-new 1990s Subaru Legacy has more impressive standard features than the Camry or Accord. Now, to make room for the Legacy, Subaru is clearing out its 89s.
With $1,000 back on 89 sedans, $1,000 back on 89 three-doors, $1,000 back on wagons, $3,000 back on XT, $1,000 back on Justy.
With all that cash back standard, you can raise your standard of living.
Raise your standard of living. See your Subaru dealer.
Problem, Labor Day, what to do? Solution A, the beach, exterior exposed to sun, pain, H2O could block rays, wet. Solution B, Circuit City's Labor Day weekend sale. Save on this VHS video recorder with cable-ready tuner, now just $159.97. This Frigidaire 14 cubic foot no frost refrigerator is only $379.97. Conclusion, Circuit City's savings beat the beach.
This is a recipe for love. New Cheese Lovers Plus. Blend an abundance of 3 alluring cheeses and 2 irresistible toppings, your choice. And what you get is 1 provocative pizza. Get all this love for only $8.99. Or get twice the affection for just $4 more. New Cheese Lovers Plus from Pizza Hut. The name says it all.
John Riggins, why did you switch from Ford to Chevy? Was it the low 2.9% financing on everything from Berettas to S10 Blazers? Or did you switch because you got $800 cash back on the new Geo Prism? Maybe it was the $500 cash back on your full-size pickup. Why did you switch?
Because today's Chevrolets are just plain better.
See your Washington area Chevy Geo dealers today.
Tonight's Redskins post-game show has been brought to you in part by your Washington area Pizza Hut restaurants, home of America's favorite pan pizza. Pizza Hut, where they're always making it great.
Nathan Roberts here in Washington, just wrapping up the rest of the day in sports in the National League. The East leaders, the Cubs, lost to Atlanta 5-1. Played it at Atlanta with the score 0-0. Lonnie Smith, one of the hitting stars tonight, hit the rocket to score Odemy McDowell and put the Braves up first 1-0. Later, the score 2-0, and Darrell Evans goes to the opposite field, scoring Smith from second, and that gives the Braves a 3-0 lead, and that's all they would need. In spite of that, Andre Dawson made his presence known. He hits this solo shot, his 15th of the year for the Cubs, but that would be their only run in the 5-1 loss. The National League scoreboard then looks like this. Cincinnati big over Pittsburgh 11-5. Atlanta 5-1 over Chicago, as we showed you. Houston and St. Louis still going at it in the 6th with the Cardinals on top 2-1. The big news at the U.S. Open tennis tournament was Chris Evert winning her 100th singles match in 19 years of competition at the Open. Other seeded winners for the women included Martina Navratilova, Zina Garrison, Manuela Maleva, Monica Seles, Natalia Zvereva, and there was one upset as Donna Faber beat 16th seeded Hanna Manlikova. For the men, seeded winners were Boris Becker, Alberto Mancini, Jay Berger, and Aaron Krickstein. Evert, who is playing, of course, in her last Open, defeated Patricia Tarabini 6-2, 6-4, but now she must face some tough competition in the 12th-seeded teenager, Monica Seles. And the number 2 Becker defeated Miroslav Mercier 6-4, 3-6, 6-4, 6-3. The Los Angeles Raiders got some good news. Marcus Allen has reported to the team. The veteran running back, of course, had skipped training camp because he wanted to renegotiate a contract that will pay him $1.1 million this season. Allen was apparently upset because Bo Jackson is making more, but only playing about half a season because of his other job as an outfielder with the Kansas City Royals. Other NFL preseason action tonight included the Minnesota Vikings playing host to Cincinnati. The final there, Minnesota 17-10. Action in the first quarter. The Bengals' Ickey Woods sweeps right, but gets the ball stripped out of his hands by Viking linebacker Mike Merriweather. The All-Pro turns on the speed, and he's gone for an apparent touchdown. No, sir. The play called back because of a penalty. Nice try. We move to the second quarter where Minnesota's Alfred Anderson cuts left, fights off some tacklers, plus a face mask at the goal line. Yeah, but he's in for the score. And the final there, 17-10 Minnesota. The Packers visited the Patriots tonight. Green Bay comes away with the win, 16-0. Second quarter, Packers' Brent Fullwood fumbles at the goal line. Looks like former Redskin Clint Didier might have fallen on it, but the Patriots recover to end the threat. Go to second quarter action. The Pack gets a little tricky with a reverse to wideout Philip Epps. He picks his way through the Packer defense en route to the score. The Packers go on to shut out the Patriots 16-0. And, of course, recapping the top sports story of the day, the tragic death of Baseball Commissioner A. Bartlett Giamatti. He died of a heart attack at Martha's Vineyard while he was vacationing with his wife. Giamatti leaves behind a wife and 3 children. A. Bartlett Giamatti dead at the age of 51. Be sure to stay tuned to Channel 5 for City Under Siege with Ron Gardner and drug czar William Bennett talking about President Bush's new national drug plan. That's coming up next. For Steve Buckhantz and the rest of the team, I'm Nathan Roberts. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Redskin Postgame Show.
Let's say your little angel tries to flush 1,000 toy soldiers down the toilet. Quick, use the new one-book Yellow Pages. With listings from A to Z, you'll have a plumber before the water's up ½ inch max. Try C and P's Yellow Pages, you got 2 books. C, of which you can only ever find one. The wrong one. And by the time you find a plumber under P, you'll need a diver under D. Who wants to wade through all of that? Military academies.
The One Book. It's just like the old Yellow Pages, only better. Yeah, I put new brakes in my car last night.
Yeah? Did you go to Meineke?
No. Why?
Imagine how much better you'd feel if you'd come to Meineke. Our under-the-car specialist would have thoroughly inspected your brake system and then installed the right brakes at a great Meineke price. So when you need new brakes, remember,